Welcome everybody to another episode of the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. I am Eric.
I'm Lord Manny. Hey, Hayes.
Ho, ho. And I'm Marcus, the grand finale. The only podcast in the world that's lasted longer than Lift Biscuit.
Wow. You're gonna start with that already, huh? Well, we're here with another jam-packed episode, and as I told Marcus and Manny in the brief preview of the show, that I have a little bit of bells and whistles that I'm gonna add to my presentation because I've been inspired by the untitled Manny and Marcus show that takes place.
We're here.
Who is listening to the show live? Who turned it on without muting their sound? Is that you, Marcus? You look guilty.
That would be me.
You look guilty.
That would be me.
Have some professionals.
Okay? I wanted to see the bells and whistles, okay? I had to look at the bells and whistles.
Okay, so, boom, let me, okay, so I have that. That's the first bell and whistle. There we go. That's one. Then,
what are you doing?
there we go. I'm unlocking stuff, man. I'm unlocking stuff on the live.
All I'm seeing is random comments going over Manny's face.
Really?
No, that happens when you watch on phone.
Oh, okay. So I was going to say, I hope.
Yep.
Oh, I see it.
Yes.
I see it.
Yes.
Wow.
And I even have more when we start the show, so I'm ready for this. I mean,
really,
it's not the quality that Marcus has created, but considering that I woke up this morning an hour early and I tried to create all this stuff to produce a entertaining and nice show, that I just realized that on my trying to record the show, it didn't work at all. So now I have to go and mix the show myself later because, yeah, you know, sometimes you do stupid shit when you're trying to record. And when you
Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. I'm cutting you off. You told me, hey, Marcus, make sure you don't cuss on the show. First thing you do. First sentence you do. Couldn't even go without it.
You're right, Marcus. And you know why? Because that was natural frustration that took place right there. Natural frustration. It wasn't, I didn't plan on cussing, but the fact that I thought I was recording the show where I wouldn't have to edit the show afterwards was thrown out the window once I realized that I was not doing that. So, you know, things happen. And you know, Grudge Smurf said we need to have a call-in number. I technically do have a number where someone could call into the show. But who knows if we want to give that out live on the air. Maybe stay tuned to the end of the show and I might let you guys call in. Who knows? So, with that being said, it's been a very, how could I say, eventful week in wrestling. And I have took the time to produce a show where I will have what we're talking about pop up at the bottom of the screen, which I'm very excited about.
It's already been done, Jack.
I know it has.
I've already been doing that for years.
But Marcus, it's never been done on Saturday on the main show.
Oh, okay.
So
basically, I am AEW and had the wrestlers in the crowd, and now you are SmackDown having your wrestlers now in the crowd, but contracting the AIDS, the COVID-19 virus.
The AIDS.
Actually, Marcus, I prefer to.
Also said the AIDS.
I prefer to think that you are AEW when you had the camera facing your ramp, and I'm WWE now realizing that presentation was right, and I'm trying to go down that road.
Okay.
So with that being said, it's now time to talk about a little bit of news because I want to bring back the news because I think news is what really keeps us going and gets us going. You know, well, I repeated the same thing. The first thing,
you suck.
The first thing
is that
I would
why
like.
You're wearing a new shirt? Oh no, it's new.
Yes, new day. The first thing I would like to talk about, it was something that happened on a show that neither of us watch, but we are aware of what happens in the world of Impact, and that is Tessa Blanchard was let go and stripped of the Impact Championship because I believe she was the Impact Champion. Not 100% sure, and it wasn't because of her comments that she has said throughout the years or anything of that. It was simply because she was instructed to send in some type of promo from her home in Mexico so they could put onto the Impact show. But she didn't do that, so they pretty much fired her for insubordination. So my question is, she might be one of the most ideal free agents on the market with a lot of baggage to go behind her name. And Marcus, you shake your head and discuss. I'm going to ask you, should AEW or WWE pursue and sign in Ms. Blanchard?
I think they need to stay away. Stay away. She is a trap. It's a trap. It's a trap. Yes, she's the most known women's wrestler champion in the history of Impact. And yes, she has the name of Blanchard. But throughout her career, it just seems like she's trouble, 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 to take a phrase from EC3. I would stay away.
Would you consider her trouble in paradise, Marcus?
No, Bun. No, I would not say trouble in paradise. And so, I got Bun.
Manny, do you seem like you agreed and nod in agreement with Marcus. Do you agree that you should stay away from Tessa in this situation?
Yeah, she's more problems than she is worth any type of money that you might draw from her. She may be good at what she does, but she's got bad backstage attitude, which I don't think will slide well with your oncoming talent. So I think it's worthwhile to stay away.
But if someone decided to take that dive and sign her, who do you think it should be? Marcus, I turn to you.
Well, if you decide to take the dive, since you're speaking, I believe there should be bidders in both parties. I think you can make money on both of them. Whether you want to have Charlotte Flair clash with Tessa Blanchard, or if you're AEW, when you're just starving for a women's wrestler that can last more than 5 minutes in the ring without injuring anybody. So I would go either route with that. If I was AEW, I may open my pocketbooks. If I was WWE, I would open my pocketbooks. But we have a deep women's division, so I would be more cautious. But AEW should try to scoop up anybody they can get. All these rape allegations. Go after them all.
Manny, do you agree with Marcus, his analysis of this situation?
Yeah, but I'd go a bit further and put her on, if you were going to sign her, probation. Put her on probation. The moment she screws up, you're out of there!
Man, it seems like you wanted to be an umpire your whole life. And you was waiting to throw somebody out. And this is the first game you called. You throw the wrong person out for the wrong reason. That's what that response was when you threw Tony Blanchard out. It's like,
I mean, for me, with everything that's going on, with all these allegations going out left and right, with racial injustice going on, I just feel like it might be too big of a risk and too much attention to bring to your company to sign her. I agree. AEW should try to scoop her up because their women's wrestling roster is thin. With Statlander going down, man, we had Sheeta versus Red Velvet this week, and I personally feel that there's no wrestler should ever be named Red Velvet. It sounds.
First of all, Eric, that wasn't even a match.
No. I mean,
I can't even remember what Red Velvet looks like. Okay,
I believe she was black.
I literally see a chocolate cake.
Yeah,
or a red velvet cake.
The thing about that match was that I remember the match was more of Sheeta engaging with Penelope Ford, and originally that match didn't even make my notes to talk about when we talk about AEW, just because you just don't do it. However,
can we just say Sheeta wrestled a cake?
She did.
Sheeta wrestled a cake. It'd be the same thing.
With that being said, I just think that the biggest downfall of Tessa going to AEW is that they're not established enough, and I feel like she would do the same thing that she did in Impact, where she would just rub everybody the wrong way. I think for many reasons, the reason why she was the Impact champion is because she didn't get along with anybody else in the women's locker room. That's why Jordynne Grace is the current Impact women's champion. With WWE has a different point of view because they don't need Tessa. So you could come in and be like, hey, you need to humble yourself because we got Charlotte, we got Io, we got Sasha, we got Bayley. You just a small fish in this pond, so you got to earn your stripes. So
didn't they have Tessa at one point and then she was let go?
Oh no, she was in the Mae Young tournament, but then I think she got eliminated in the first round to Kairi Sane.
It might have been.
Let's go with that.
Yeah,
let's go with that.
Well,
Kairi Sane ran roughshod through those things.
But then apparently she's already had like backstage issues with WWE, like trying to accost Ricochet at the Performance Center.
Mm-hmm.
So so already she's even if she was to come into WWE, she's already got a bad rep already.
Yeah, I mean, Wes asked in the chat, what's the repercussion of her behavior in other companies? And Grunchmurph pretty much, she burned all her bridges. Like, she doesn't have many places she can go wrestle at right now because of her personality and her demeanor. I'm not sure if she ends up anywhere, but I think it's time for us to move on to something that's a little bit more close to home, something that really strikes me, Marcus. And I'm just going to ask you.
Is this the only Impact release we're talking about?
You want to talk about Michael Elgin, Marcus? Do you really want to talk about Michael?
Joey Ryan too.
Who?
Joey Ryan's the biggest. Joey Ryan is the biggest indie wrestler of all time.
Mr. Dick Flip himself.
Marcus, I could care less about Joey Ryan. I never wanted to bring any attention to that man on my show. And
15 rape allegations.
Well,
15.
Damn.
15.
You know, Ron Jeremy was at my job.
That's right.
Yeah.
But he ain't Joey Ryan. As I stated one time, bringing up the best pure rapists in the game, Joey Ryan has exceeded Bill Cosby.
Well, Marcus, it's interesting that you bring up such a sensitive topic because my number 2 story to talk about is a question I have to ask you guys. Is the dream over, Marcus? There's reports that Velveteen Dream is on his way out, and because the allegations are getting even worse of him possibly trying to sleep with younger boys.
I'll go boys.
Girls.
I thought it was. I read someplace it was boys. I don't know what it is, Mark. All I know is allegations. All I know that the people are underage, and people are saying that he's closer on his way out. And Manny, do you think he's done, or do you think there's a slight chance that the dream will still live on?
It's quite tough if these allegations turn out to be true, which seems to be what it's been leaning to, given he's deleted all his socials and everything. Like he's like deleted all the tweets and everything on his socials. It looks like that's the direction it's leaning towards. And I'm surprised he's even kept his job from the first time these allegations came out. Like it wasn't very long when the first allegation came out and we all took his side because it was like, oh, these people could just be lying and stuff like that. But he could be definitely on his way out. Another thing we need to report on is allegedly he got into a car accident.
Yes, but I believe he is okay. And as the chat room is confirming, Grunch Smurf, thank you, that it was boys. You guys said girls. It is boys. Marcus, you are a huge. Well, you like the dream, Marcus. I know this probably hurts your heart. What happens, Marcus? Where do we go from here?
Nothing hurts my heart, man. It's cold black and 3 sizes too small. Oh,
what?
The dream.
I don't know.
It's the Grinch that stole Christmas reference. You guys have no culture. But the dream, if these allegations are true, and if the investigation show that he is chasing little boys and underage boys and stuff, he has to go. And it's unfortunate. I like the dream. I thought he was a really good wrestler and a good entertainer. But if these allegations are going on and it's and he's 100% guilty and he's being a headache in the locker room, and you don't know the cause of accident, maybe he was drunken and driving. And
drunken and driving.
Like, you see, drunken and driving.
Okay.
I said it in past tense.
Okay.
Okay.
Why can't you just say he was Usoing?
Ooh.
So.
But yeah, so it does seem like he's on his way out, but Vince McMahon kept Shawn Michaels around for all those years, and that was a pain in the ass if there's ever one.
I'm assuming the reason why the dream is still employed to this day is that WWE is doing their due diligence to ensure that these allegations are, authentic, or if they're real, or just people trying to jump on the bandwagon and accuse one of their bigger stars of, misdoings. But as Wes said in the chat room, if these are true, like, you get Chris Benoit treatment, like, you're done. Like,
hold on, a Jack Gallagher treatment.
I don't know what Jack did.
He'd been wiped from all all like all knowledge of Jack Gallagher's
all
gone on
existing.
WWE.com.
Really?
Yeah. He's been erased from history. He got straight up Benoit treatment because I believe he admitted his guilt.
Oh.
And they released a lot of people, Lingero and Travis Banks, the Kiwi buzzsaw. And if that's not a racist name, I don't know what it is.
Wow, Marcus. Oh, Jesus. Let's move on to more doom and gloom in the world of professional wrestling.
Is there anything positive going on in the show today?
I have only one news story that's positive, but it might be disappointing.
Only my COVID test, guys.
Well, Marcus, I'm glad you said the word because COVID-19 is undisputed because it is taking out everyone and everything, and the world is trying to open up, and COVID-19 is like, no, we are not. I am vacant. I am better than vacant. I am everybody. Renee Young got it. Kyla Braxton got it. Jamie Noble got it. QT Marshall possibly has it.
Adam Pearce got it.
Adam Pearce had it. John Moxley.
When did QT Marshall get it?
Oh, that's why he wasn't at the tapings, Marcus. He was exposed to it. So you didn't hear that.
No, I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, because they actually said it that John Moxley and both QT were possibly exposed to the virus, and so that's why they were kept off of TV. Marcus, it was running rapid in the Performance Center. On SmackDown, you finally saw that the wrestlers got to wear masks because, they didn't want that on TV. I just asked the question, shouldn't we just shut it all down, Marcus? Shouldn't we just shut it down?
No.
Oh.
Because I gotta make money. Not playing. No. I think the goal should be to get out of Florida. That is the problem. Florida is the problem. It is there's Arizona, which apparently is the new epicenter of coronavirus. But Florida is no better. They open up everything too soon. No one down there wears a mask or give a damn. You can see why the influence of the people in Performance Center don't care. Florida is the problem. They need to relocate to somewhere else. Marcus, and there are other procedures they could have followed, of course. But the Performance Center and Florida and the nature of Vince McMahon supporting Donald Trump and not wearing the mask for the Republican Party, it's all a part of it. It's all of it.
Marcus, I'm just not going to sit here and let you disperse the name of Florida because Florida is not alone in the numbers rising, Marcus. You have Florida, you have Texas, you have Arizona, and you even have where we stay at, Marcus, Southern California, where the numbers are rising out of control. It is simple. People are not taking the proper precautions. People don't want to wear a mask. I saw a video of a lady in Florida, and I will quote her verbatim because I will never get these words out of my mouth. I don't wear a mask like I don't wear underwear because I got to let stuff breathe. And God damn it, I mean...
She did that hand movement too. Don't forget that.
Manny,
let it breathe.
I'm not sure.
It's the Malcolm X of COVID-19 by any means necessary.
I'm not sure if everything has been somewhat put under control in the United Kingdom, but watching this stuff in the States has to be pretty damning. Is that right?
There's a reason why people laugh at America. And more so since Donald Trump came around, but there's a reason why people laugh at America. And because you've got idiots like this that ruin it for everyone else. Like only the terrible portions of everybody's culture are the things that people see that everyone seems represent the rest of everyone else.
Yep.
And unfortunately, this is what we've seen. But I need more explanation. Is this what happens in Florida? Because if I type in Florida man, a lot of nonsense comes up.
Weed was like, I watched a lot of Desus and Mero, and at one point they would always say you could read a headline and you'd be like, I bet this took place in Florida, and then you read it, you'd be like, yes, it did. Florida is a very interesting place, and I remember when it was scheduled to be in Orlando, we made the effort, not just because we didn't have finances, that saying Florida may not be where we really want to go to. And the worst part, they're trying to bring the NBA to Florida. I'm like, I just don't understand how this is going to work out. Nothing seems right. And COVID-19, as I was listening to Busted Open Radio this week, They pointed out if there was any time for the argument of a off season, this would be the time for the off season. If you took a month off, if you took 2 weeks off, it would be very beneficial to really like reset everything and even lower expectations. Manny, looks like you want to say something. Go ahead.
I did read a story the other day. Whether it's true or not is something, but it's an opening discussion. So apparently, if AEW were to take a break, they would go out of business.
Damn.
Because TNT would not cover all their costs.
Well,
so they have to continue running shows no matter what the situation is. Whereas WWE are in a position where they could take an off-season break as Marcus dies.
That's what Friday Night Smackdown was. I mean, literally, that was a break. But like I know people have been dragging WWE's name in the mud, talking about how could they run shows? How could they be open? And I'm like, are you guys keeping your eyes closed? They are not the only ones. I mean, every job that I know are making people come to work and do work, and then on top of that are not telling everybody who's been exposed to the virus for the simple reason they're like HIPAA violations. I'm like, that's BS. It just, we all need to be in our home. We have plenty of stuff to do in our home. We have movies, we have Netflix, we have, you know, is it really that important to go out and eat at a restaurant? I just don't get it. I just don't. And I think I'm off my soapbox. Yet I still watch professional wrestling. Because there's nothing else on.
Can I chime in?
Go ahead, Marcus. Chime in, brother.
So I'm going to take the controversial take about wrestling shutting down.
Here we go.
Here we go. I don't think wrestling should shut down. I think that's what makes wrestling unique, is that it never stops. But I just feel like you just need to do better things. You need to take the precautions. What they're doing now with throwing people out there at ringside and trying to get things up and going, and the cry to demand of the fans seeing the crowd, they need to just do it smart. They need to do limited shows, similar to Smackdown, even though I could give a damn about Smackdown this week. They should just do minor things, fill it with some old footage, and then you have maybe 1 or 2 matches. You can just limit the staff you have there, and you don't have to take time off, but you just limit the show. Raw does not have to be 3 hours. This is a chance to make it 2 hours. And you can just have a few matches like what they did before WrestleMania. They had maybe 1 or 2 matches. There were some promos. People were isolated. Nobody really liked that they had no crowd, but whatever. And then they give you some old clips from some random WrestleMania or some Survivor Series match, and you could do the show. I feel like there's ways to do this, but no one's going the right route. AEW throws 700 people in their arena, I feel like, at a time. And I'm like, that's a risk, even though they are testing people. A lot of these tests aren't accurate. I mean, if you're right, QT Marshall got it. Who knows who else got it? I'm sure Allie got it. He stuck his tongue in her throat multiple times. I'm just implying. As a man, I'm assuming he's doing that.
Marcus, are you still going?
Yeah, I'm gonna go all night, baby.
Okay,
I'm gonna go all night.
Because I would like to play devil's advocate to your devil's advocate, Marcus. Because Bully Ray
can't be devil's advocate.
Yes, we can't. Bully Ray brought up a good point when they were discussing the whole time of taking off. Is that everything has an off season. NFL has an off season. The NBA has an off season. Major League Baseball has an off season. Even your regular television sitcoms have off season. When you take that break, you build up that desire and that demand. Like, even if it was just 2 weeks after WrestleMania ended, could you imagine on that 3rd week when the first episode of Monday Night Raw returns, how much excitement would be built up because you haven't had it in so long? I just think that I think it's a good idea to possibly take breaks, especially on WWE's end, because they have so much they can air. For example, the stuff that they're showing on Fox Sports 1, it's getting really good numbers, which is crazy. It might be beating NXT and AEW, but probably not the Total Bellas. But still, I mean, those replays are doing a lot. I just think that you have to think smarter, and maybe Monday is, you're right, Garen Smurf, soap operas do not take days off, but at the same time, I don't know what soap operas are still on anymore.
So I'm for wrestlers getting breaks. And I know this may be the most selfish take in the world now. I just feel like wrestling should have a break. WrestleMania happens the night before, right? There's nothing like Raw after Mania. But for to have to wait 3 weeks and go to some random town without the people who traveled, it would take that away. And then I feel like if you stretch the wrestlers and not expose everybody every week, it would still mean more that they came back 3 weeks later. Like, if I don't have Drew McIntyre on this Monday, 2 weeks from now, people will be excited to see him, in that distant future. I'm just saying, wrestling could go on. The show should go on. I find it intriguing. Even in the pandemic, I'm sorry I didn't shut up, but even in the pandemic, that wrestling finds a way to go. If I ran a wrestling promotion, I would welcome that challenge.
Marcus,
that's what I'm about.
The quote Hulk Hogan, "You are a true American."
And also an N-word.
Wow. There's nothing else that we can really, that's one way to end it. So the last thing before we start talking about the shows, if anybody watched the Undertaker's documentary that was done on the WWE Network, I've seen one episode, but the last episode aired, and in that episode, he actually announced that it was his last ride, that he retired from in-ring action, and his last match was against AJ Styles in the Boneyard match. Manny, are you satisfied with the way that the Undertaker's career went out, even when you heard all the hardships and things about the Undertaker trying to chase that golden dragon?
Well, Eric, if you watched all 5 episodes, you would have seen the struggles this man has been going through just to get through his redemption story. And I feel like this match with AJ probably not the match he wanted, because he said he probably wanted it in front of a crowd where people could see it, and he's probably right, but it probably wouldn't have been as good as what we got from the Boneyard match. And I feel like he should go out that way. He got to ride out on a motorcycle. That's it. Just leave it as it is. Don't. If Vince even whispers, I'll be asking for $10 million to come back.
and Manny, on SmackDown, did you watch the Boneyard match again, or did you skip it?
I skipped it.
Okay, just want to know, Marcus.
You know, we can do that.
Yeah, Marcus. I know you're a man that wants people to wrestle. Mark, you want people to wrestle through the plague and everything. As Wes says that he blames Money Michelle. Marcus, do you like the way that the Undertaker went out?
No. I enjoyed the 5-part docu-series last ride. I understand. Again, I'm a very selfish man. I understand he's broke down, beat up. I understand the Boneyard match was a good match, but him riding off of that motorcycle had no finality to it. It seemed like the show goes on. I need this to end. He is the Undertaker. He is built upon pageantry and theater and dramatic entrances and exits. And I feel like he just showed it. It just showed him in a tiny house, standing there, living his life. He became Thanos at the end of this documentary, and I don't need that. I need him to be killed off. Okay?
He will literally die in the ring. Goldberg nearly killed him.
No. I think you got to do something smart. But I mean, I would have him in there with someone safe, not Goldberg, who has a history of ending careers. But I would just have him lose a match. Like he could do what Randy Orton and Edge did. I think he could pull that off. Not go 45 minutes, but just do some basic stuff and, sell really hard. Like, I just feel like that it didn't feel like an end. They didn't treat it as like this is his last match. And I believe The Undertaker, after all his years, who's probably in the Mount Rushmore of wrestling, deserved a bigger exit than that.
Marcus, he had everything that you asked for him to have. He had it when he fought Roman. He lost to Roman. He put his hat, he put his gloves, and he laid it down in the middle of the ring. He walked up the ramp, and he was lowered as he had his fist in the air, Mark. He had that moment closing out WrestleMania. His career was over. It was no reason for him to ever come back again. So you have both moments, Marcus. You have the Boneyard match, and you had his match in the ring, Marcus. I don't need any more Undertaker.
Okay. So what you saying? He's Michael Jordan.
You had his moment. You had the Undertaker striptease with Roman at WrestleMania 34. He should have stayed that way.
Exactly.
Just because, in the NBA, and in the NFL, you can mess up your legacy, okay? You can do that. Like Joe Montana in the Kansas City Chief uniform or Tom Brady in the Bucks. And as Michael Jordan hitting that last shot over Byron Russell should have been the end. Like the last dance doesn't go into the epilogue when he goes into the Wizards. And that's what we ended with. We don't need Jordan to end with the Wizards. We want to see him end with the Bulls, damn it. And they had a chance to do it with Undertaker. They could rewrite his wrong of leaving his underwear in the middle of the ring after WrestleMania.
But Marcus, your exact thing that you described that you wanted the Undertaker to do, he has done already. And it makes.
And he stuffed it up. But I'm saying we can fix history.
Marcus,
fix history.
You are the man that continue to want to drag the Undertaker out to the ring just to keep laying his stuff down there.
Because every time that gong hits, I need to know what's going to happen with The Undertaker. And it doesn't matter how old he is, I still care. Even after I talk about him on a show and say, this motherfucker is washed up, and I didn't say the words, this dude is washed up and shouldn't be in the ring, I will still be going, oh, what's The Undertaker going to do when that gong hits? It captivates.
You're an evil man. You watched all 5 parts of this show, and you saw the levels of stress he was going through with his redemption story.
Manny, I saw episode 1. I saw what they had to do to get his knee ready with the needles and sucking stuff out, Marcus. I don't think this man, he could barely walk backstage. For whatever reason, because they hyped him up on drugs, he was able to do those feats. He had his in-ring moment with the crowd chanting his name, and he had a great ending with the Boneyard match, Marcus. I am comfortable with this farewell for The Undertaker. There is nobody else that he needs to fight.
I just feel in pandemic wrestling, there's a way we can fix a real wrestling match in that, and edit it together to make it seem like he had one last great showing. I'm just saying we can pull that off one more time. One more time.
Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? You're Teddy Long, and his meal ticket's gone. You're Teddy Long. This is why you're pushing him to have another match.
I feel like I don't even need to talk to Marcus anymore because there's nothing that can change. He wants to see his Undertaker in the ring again. Am I right, Manny?
I think he definitely wants Undertaker in the ring one more time.
One
more time, he's gonna die.
No, but Manny,
that'll be on your conscience.
No, the greatest thing is that one more time, that one more time won't even be that great. And the next thing you know, he's like, well, we need to have it one more time again. He's 50 plus years old, Marcus. I don't need Ric Flair coming out trying to tell Randy Orton he's the greatest. I'm just saying, he went out, Marcus. He went out against AJ. Even the Good Brothers are trying to hype up their July 18th show to talk about what really happened because I guess that's when their embargo ends. I'm just saying I'm comfortable with the way he went out. It's right up there with Ric Flair getting super kicked, talking about, I'm sorry, I love you. And then he went and bastardized that. Marcus, as Wes said, you're the new Michelle McCool, Marcus. Hope you can live with that. I hope you can live with that.
Yeah, I'll be all right. I work in the casino. Come on, you know what I do.
And he'd be a white woman in America. Come on, guys.
Yeah. Marcus is the Black Karen.
It's always been my dream to be a white woman in America.
There's nothing I can say. There's nothing I can say about that. So now it's just time to start talking about a little bit of the recap shows. I'm trying, I really want to try to get the show back into a 2-hour mind frame because we give so much shit to Monday Night Raw for being 3 hours. I feel like it's not right for our show to be 3 hours too. So I'm trying to push forward, Marcus, and it's only and I feel like this is gonna be my hiccup in the road, my speed bump in the road, and that's AEW Dynamite, Marcus, because
Dynamite
AEW, Marcus, Dynamite, they have like good ideas, they do, but then they just do too much. Let's just start off with the night. We had a battle of the big men. And I think we could all say right now, confidently, that Wardlow is no longer the worst big man in the game. Can we all agree with that? Marcus?
I don't think he was ever in that position.
We said it on the show a couple of times ago that he was the worst big man in the game. Marcus, I turned.
Yeah, we dubbed him the worst big man in the game.
Is he still the worst big man in the game, Marcus?
No, well, he's still in the game, right?
He in the game,
and I can't think of another worse big man than him. So he is the worst big man in the game.
Wow, Marcus. Wow, that's just awful, Marcus. You don't
give me another big man.
You don't have to have someone to replace the worst big man, Marcus. It's a good thing if we don't have bad big men. It's good.
You title him the worst big man in the game. There has to be a bottom tier. There is a rank somewhere. If he's at the bottom of that rank, he is still the worst big man in the game.
Well, okay, I'll put Killian Dane there since he can't win. How about that? I gave you a worst big man.
Listen, losses don't matter in wrestling.
It does in my world.
Wardlow is 1-1 or something like that.
No, he's like pretty much undefeated. His record is just as good as MJF's. And
he lost to Cody.
So everyone loses to Cody. We will talk about Cody actually next after this. But this big man match, I was impressed with Wardlow. I was impressed with Luchasaurus. What I was not impressed with was the stupid stipulation of putting a lumberjack stipulation on the match. And then next thing you know, the lumberjacks don't even surround the whole ring, and they don't even know what lumberjacks do. Like, they were literally there just to catch people, the big men who were jumping. And that's what took me out of this match. I just... Marcus, I'm going to go to Manny.
Dramatic pause.
I'm going to go to Manny because it just frustrated me to no end that this became a spot fest that could have been something so much more. Manny, what is your take on this match?
As I said on the Manny and Marcus show, which you can catch on Tuesday and Thursday, was that I didn't like this match, and I don't like Luchasaurus. I've seen older people move faster than Luchasaurus's kicks. And I just think he'll, and I don't think he will ever get over in my mind for me. So I didn't like this. Yeah, he did a flip and it looked cool, but that was it. I expect that with AEW.
Everybody can do a flip. It looks cool.
Marcus, you going over, like, what did you feel about the match?
I thought it was good. I enjoyed it, but like the parts that you hate and the parts that many hate, I also hate. I hate how slow Luchasaurus is, and I hate that he's a damn Luchasaurus. Be a man, damn it. Be a man. 2, I didn't really like the lumberjacks failed and all that. All I want from a lumberjack match. This is the basics. People do wrestling stuff that they never do. They punch somebody, then they throw them out the ring. You get thrown to the hillside, you get punched in the stomach a few times and kicked. You get thrown to the face side, they just put you back in the ring. I just need that little bit of shit in my lumberjack match. Okay? These sorry-ass lumberjack-offs did nothing. They were useless. Like you said, they were just there to catch people that were diving. Yes, Luchasaurus did a suicide dive. He was nice, but he died. I don't know. I got distracted by that text.
Marcus, you need to turn your fan on, Marcus. The listeners don't want you to die on the main show. Turn the fan on, Marcus.
I'm going to die on this show. I am going to die on this show.
And just remember, if you're watching this, Marcus is doing it for you. So you better like and subscribe.
just like the Undertaker, I'm going to die in the middle of the show. That's the way I'm going out.
I don't know.
That's the way you want the Undertaker to go out.
Wow. I think for me the most frustrating spot as my glasses fogs up. I don't know where my AC is at right now. I might have to go talk to somebody.
You and your AC. I live in the hard-boiled part of the city where there is no AC, where you got a fan that costs $9.99. If it's not on, you die. You boil. I'm rotisserie like a chicken.
You could buy yourself an AC. I mean, I've given you 2 that just stopped working. But as I was saying,
no, you gave me 2 broken ones. You bastard.
I think the most frustrating thing.
Oh, I'm done with this AC. It don't work no more. I'm going to give it to you. You tried to kill me.
No, the second one actually worked. It just got destroyed in transit. So what can I say? I can't control everything. But one thing that really frustrated me the most about the match is when the big men left the ring and then they did the spot where they threw the person off the stage. And I was like, this is so unnecessary. We don't need this. Like, just give me simple wrestling matches, AEW. Stop trying to add all the bells and whistles to everything. And since we're going to talk about bells and whistles, I got to move on to the thing that really just drove me crazy. It grind my gears beyond belief. And that was the Fyter Fest press conference, as I like to call it, the Cody Rhodes Let's Stroke My Ego press conference, for no good apparent reason. The first fundamental flaw with this press conference for me was the fact that we're going to have a press conference for arguably the second most important title in the company, but we don't have a press conference for the AEW championship. And for me, that just took me out. Like, why are we hyping up this TNT championship? Then to make matters worse, Jake Hager didn't even show up on time because he knew what this was. Marcus, I know you spoke on this already on the Untitled Manny and Marcus show, but I need you to let the listeners hear your opinion again.
I want to start with a positive note because I don't normally do that. Me reflecting that the Undertaker is not going to die in the ring is motivated me to say more positive things on this show. Cody Rhodes' suit was really nice. I could see myself wearing that bright red suit, and he looked like this was a real fight and a real big deal. He dressed like the title. However, I just don't feel this giant press conference like this was a UFC fight was necessary. It was so unnecessary for me. I didn't need Arn Anderson to say his 2 words or 17 different words. I don't even know what he was talking about. I didn't need that. Jake Hager's wife, who I guess let him back in to the house after he lost to Jon Moxley, shows up again and throws water into Cody Rhodes' face. And would Brandy just allow that? And I was just so confused on why we needed to have a press conference that the one time you do pull apart in press conference like this, and AEW did not do a pull apart at a press conference, but every other segment has a pull apart. I didn't care about this. I could have just had a contract signed to get a ring. You could have flipped the table, and I would have been happy.
Marcus, piggybacking on what you said, I thought that Jake Hager did his part. When he put his fist to Cody Rhodes' face after all the nonsense of Arn talking and things, and then his wife threw the water, I was expecting the pull apart of Brandy Rhodes going ballistic. But she didn't even react. And I feel like on our show, we attacked Brandy on more occasion than not. But like, this
you bastard.
This woman threw water into your husband's face, and Cody cannot hit this woman. You should have been trying to jump over the table or even trying to do a Lana throw the heel at somebody to hit her upside the head with that heel. Manny, am I right about this? I mean, shouldn't Brandy been ballistic?
I don't know what Brandy's role is ever. Like, when last week when Ali came out in the middle of the tag match, and then suddenly they both realized that instead of arguing, they should be cheering the team on. Then they both start cheering the team on, and then she forgets about the beef. I don't understand Brandy in that stance. Then there was a whole if I get attacked, Cody doesn't care nonsense a few months ago. And then we get this. We're just like, is this relationship just for show? Like, are they really married? Are they just doing stuff on the side with other people? And this marriage is just for show? Because I don't understand Brandy ever anymore.
Are you calling him Jim Cornette?
Yeah.
No, it's one of those things. It's just that, when I looked at the whole press conference, as Wes pointed out in the chat room, they only had one microphone. Why did you only have one microphone? I don't get it. Also, you had the whole team behind there, and Brandy has said for the last 2 weeks she doesn't understand why Ali is there. We got to the fact where she doesn't like Ali. Why was Ali standing up there at the press conference when QT Marshall wasn't there? That's when you tell her, hey,
he was there.
Huh? He was
QT
not
Marshall
there. He was
no,
not.
He was at the press conference because that was taped. He wasn't at the actual show.
Was that guy off the side? Was that QT Marshall? Because he didn't look like QT Marshall.
No. There was another guy just holding the belt, which I thought was like a knockoff Rick Rude.
No, I thought that was just like the moderator or something like that. I don't think QT Marshall was there. But who really cares? We're not going to go back to the tape. Did we really need Arn Anderson talking?
I was about to chime in and say, who gives a shit about QT Marshall? Really? That's like caring about Fred Durst in 2020. No one
I keep it rolling, Marcus, because we're in together now, buddy.
Roll it together. Come on, Eric. Do your lip biscuit.
No, because like I said, this whole press conference just defeated the purpose, and it just shows that the TNT Championship may be bigger than the AEW Championship, and I'm not sure is that what AEW really wanted to have happen. I guess only time will tell.
Well, I could be on the show this week in their defense.
Huh?
AEW sabotaged their show with Renee Young, so Moxley couldn't be there.
But Marcus, the thing about it, Moxley was just going to have a squash match. They already had this press conference scheduled. The AEW Championship, since the creation of the TNT Championship, has been second fiddle. Like, it's not important. You know it's true.
But as I said on Thursday, what makes more money, AEW or TNT? And then who's the face of the company? That's your world title. The TNT title is basically the world title, because it gets more attention than the world title in the last few weeks.
And I think for me, the thing that frustrates me the most about this match is that I think if you wouldn't have that stupid stipulation where Cody Rhodes can't fight for the AEW Championship, I felt that if you would have put the AEW Championship on the line against Jake Hager in this match of this, magnitude, it would have really sold it for me a lot more. But they didn't, and it looks like they're just gonna have Jake Hager job out again to another person, just like he did for Mox. Like, I don't get it. But the thing that I really don't get, and this is where
Jake Hager ain't no money in that.
And as people know, that if you watch the Thursday edition of the Untitled Manny and Marcus show, some person showed up disguised as me and decided to talk about some things that took place on AEW that just really made him upset. And I'm referring to the whole Sonny Kiss, Joey Janela, Dark Order scenario.
I know, of everything that happened this week, this is what made you mad.
It pissed me the fuck off, Manny.
This is how Eric lives his life, man.
Because let me just tell you something.
He's not clay. He doesn't get mad about racial injustice. He doesn't get mad about the injustice to the LGBT community, or children living in cages, or people protesting with guns over not being able to have brunch. What grinds his gears is Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. Go ahead, Eric. Explain this to me.
Marcus, I'm all in for Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. They were about to be dubbed my new team since they got rid of Jimmy Havoc. Because I was intrigued. Marcus, with the video package from the week before. From the week before, where Joey Janela was having a hard time. He got into the G-Ride with Sonny Kiss. And then last week happened, Marcus. We got no mention of him. Got no mention. All right. Okay, I'm fine with that. So this week, we finally get the follow-up video of what took place. First, Sonny Kiss let Joey drive his car. That's amazing right then and there. They go to the gas station to get some gas. As, yes, I have, because I'm very angry about this. Next week will be the time where I'll try not to cuss more. I'm sorry, Manny. At this point, so they pulled up to the gas station to get some gas, and, Joey Janela is inside buying snacks, and Sonny Kiss is being harassed by, I don't know if they hated black people, if they hated gay people. I'm not really sure.
The first dude was black.
He was? Man.
Yeah, in the cornrows.
It just, but whatever it was, they were ready to beat up Sonny Kiss for the G-Ride. Next thing you know, Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela whoop they ass. It ended with an epic split-legged punch to the nuts. Right then and there, I was like, all right, I'm ready for their first match. And their first match is against the Dark Order. And when you have two combustible elements that are trying to get the same thing accomplished, you have a new team of Kiss and Janela who need to win. And then you have this storyline with the Exalted One, Brody Lee, and Cole Cabana, who need to win. Then you put them together, no one is going to win in this situation. Marcus, I asked you, wouldn't the sensible thing have been to have these two teams have individual matches against jobbers in the audience?
Well, I believe the whole thing was a production issue. And I go back to last week or 2 weeks ago when they had the to be continued at the end of their vignette after Joey Janela jumped into Sonny Kiss's G-Ride, as you call it.
G-Ride, man. The G-Ride. The Kiss-mobile, man. The Kiss-mobile.
The Kiss-mobile. That's not even worse.
Hey, that was a sweet-ass car, though. All I got to say. Top down.
Okay. Anyway, I believe that they didn't have enough time to fill it on the last show. The one that, you didn't get your clip and your to be continued. They didn't. This clip was supposed to be on that show. And then this week they were going to fight the Dark Order. Instead, we get it back to back. And any momentum that Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss has is ruined because the Dark Order needed this win. And I would have liked to see more vignettes. I would like to see more of Janela and Sonny Kiss form this bond to beat up more Florida people in gas stations. I would love to see more of that. But instead, we got the match this week. I wasn't virtually offended like you were. Like, it didn't attack me in a personal manner. But I can see where you're coming from.
And Marcus, even though you're somewhat agreeing with me and you're dying over there, I mean, from heat stroke and coughing, but the fact that the vignettes made you somewhat care about Joey Janela, someone who you said you would never care about, was an accomplishment in itself. And
can't make a dime.
Yeah, but I thought we was on the road to making money. But then to even, double down on the fact of a new team debuting and then the Dark Order wins for no good reason, then you have the Murder Hawk comes out and beat up Joey Janela. And it's just like, why did you waste all this time on these video packages just to have them be destroyed?
It's 5 minutes of video packages.
No.
There's 2 video packages. That was it. 2.
Yes, but Manny,
like all this time, like they've been building them up for years. This ain't an Emelina situation.
Marcus,
they build it for like 6 months.
As you know, Marcus,
we're not going in this direction.
Marcus, you being a man who knows video, it takes a lot of time to go out there and shoot and edit video. There was a lot of time and money spent. They did the same thing the week prior with Anna Jay. Anna Jay had a nice video package, and guess what? She got in there and got destroyed by Abaddon. I'm just saying, you could have fed Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela to like Pineapple Pete and somebody else. Let them get a win. I just didn't like it. Manny, go ahead. You say.
See, Eric, I didn't really care about this match. That's why I don't have this much hate in my heart for this match. I just saw it happen, let it happen. I don't understand why you have taken it on board like these two are now your kids. And you want to see them flourish in the world of AEW. I don't understand why.
Let me tell you. Because, first of all, AEW doesn't have many black wrestlers. Sonny Kiss made it on TV.
Are you really going this route with this?
I am going this route with this, sir. I mean, because Sonny Kiss, when AEW was announcing becoming a company, it was one of the names that they listed as somebody being on the show. We have never seen Sonny Kiss wrestle on Dynamite. The announcers even alluded to Sonny Kiss never wrestling on Dynamite. I admit that this Sonny Kiss is a lot to deal with. It's a lot. At the same time, it was something completely different from WWE that was organically done, and the pairing with Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela was interesting to me. It just was. It was so much more interesting to me than the Dark Order, who we can all agree that once we found out who the Exalted One was, they have just went downhill every week and week out.
And to piggyback on what you said, consider we are in looking for black equality in America, and it is the Pride Month here in America as well, and maybe the world. I don't know 100% sure how this is done. Sonny Kiss may not have been taken out by the Murder Hawk.
Thank you. Sonny Kiss was not taken out. He was.
It's
Sonny
a
Kiss,
bad look. But do I care? Absolutely not. For us
exactly.
You know what?
For me, this much time on this. I know AEW hasn't had a black person win on Dynamite in 2 years, and they only been out for one. I'm just preempting this. A black person has not won on AEW Dynamite in a decade since Scorpio Sky 700 years ago.
Oh, we're going to talk about Scorpio Sky. We're going to talk about that right now.
Oh, let's talk about Scorpio Sky.
Because arguably,
if you want to talk about some nonsense.
Arguably, the best match of the whole entire night was FTR versus SCU. And that is hard for me to say because, as we know, I'm not a big fan of FTR. However, I had no explanation of where Scorpio Sky was and why Christopher Daniels was in that match. Last time I saw Christopher Daniels wrestle, he was on the outs. He was, he was hanging it up. He didn't know he was flirting with the Dark Order. He was also flirting with the Dark Order.
He was on Christopher Daniels' The Last Ride.
Yeah. And the next thing you know, he's in this match going against FTR. And I'm just like, why? Where is Scorpio Sky? Did they break up? Did something happen? I just didn't understand the concept of Christopher Daniels being there. Manny, do you have an explanation of why Christopher Daniels was in this match and not Scorpio Sky?
I think with the video packages going back a few weeks where they were talking about where they were primarily focused on Scorpio Sky. I think it was 2 video packages. Was it 2 or 3? It was over a course of a couple of weeks.
2. It was 2 weeks.
And yeah. I think it's the move of moving him to go solo and then have them two just be the tag team. And I think that's what the direction they're going towards, but it wasn't fully explained. I agree.
They should have told us. I mean, like, hey, Scorpio Sky decided that he wanted to pursue singles gold or the TNT championship. Oh, let's also point out.
That never happens in wrestling. When you turn on your tag partner, you attack them. That's how you tell people that.
So what? Now Scorpio Sky is gonna be the bad guy?
Scorpio Sky got thrown into the barbershop window.
And let's also point
there
out
are no bad guys at AEW, okay?
Let's also point out Cody Rhodes ain't shit. He lied to us. Cody Rhodes said he was gonna defend the TNT championship every week. He didn't defend it this week. Liar. Just want to point that out. Marcus, I'm pretty sure you enjoyed.
Your hate goes no bounds.
We are talking about a positive segment, and then you had to call Cody Rhodes a liar.
I did.
I enjoyed this match, and I think FTR is a refresh. I don't know the term I'm looking for, but it's a nice addition to AEW because it seems like they're the only ones bringing sensible wrestling to this show sometimes. They follow most of the rules. I know it's a little sketchy sometimes here and there, but they're putting on good quality matches. A lot of it's not overdone. They're making their opponents better, even though Christopher Daniels and Kazarian are solid. I just feel like that everything they're doing and the tag team division in AEW is the only thing I feel like going right for them. Everything else just seems to be to me, just a tailspin of I don't know what we're going to do. Let's throw Orange Cassidy out there.
But in AEW fashion, they just couldn't keep it as a simple match. And before we talk about all the stuff that took place afterwards, I would also like to talk about something that happened during the match where the announcers was pointing out that FTR is trying to enforce the use of the rules in professional wrestling and make sure that the tag rope is being used when tags are being made. And I'm sitting there like, so you're telling me that the team is trying to do that instead of having the official that you pay money to officiate your matches? Because in the match earlier, you let Wardlow and Luchasaurus go all outside the ring and no one did a 10 count. And then
No, that's a lumberjack match.
The whole purpose of a lumberjack match, Marcus, is so no one can escape the ring. So clearly, the lumberjacks were failing.
Countouts in lumberjack matches
because they don't stay outside the ring, Marcus. If this was a true lumberjack match, they would have got their butts and put them back into the ring
and beat up a little bit.
Yeah,
remember that.
Mark, this was pretty much. All they should have did was what they did on the Smackdown main event is when they had the locker room surround the ring for Jeff Hardy and Baron Corbin just to watch Baron Corbin get his butt beat for talking bad about the Undertaker. Once you put the lumberjack stipulation on there, I expect beatdowns and no one leaving the ring. That's just me.
But the greatest lumberjack match I've ever seen was Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose, and they left the damn ring. I feel like lumberjack matches, you should be allowed to leave the ring. And the point is, the people can fight you and they keep you in the ring, but it should be some type of a clusterfuck. Lumberjack matches always end in a clusterfuck.
Let me also point out that I feel lumberjack matches should be eliminated from professional wrestling altogether. With that being said,
that's like getting rid of a strap match.
That needs to go. I don't understand why. Your reasoning for the strap match on Thursday didn't make any sense.
And Manny, we will revisit that for the people that didn't get to hear the Thursday show. But Marcus, did you appreciate the Blade and the Butcher hopping into the car because they have some type of setup with? I don't think they're Death Circle anymore, but now the Lucha Brothers are back again, just being the Lucha Brothers. I mean, I say it was a solid setup, but I think it was still doing a little bit too much. That was for you, Marcus.
You talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Oh, I was okay with it. I enjoyed them taking their ride and them rolling down the street, even though there should be charges filed right away. And I had no problem with it. It was a good segment to me. I enjoyed it.
Manny, do you agree with Marcus? You're okay with that setup for this 8-man match?
I honestly hate 8-man tag matches unless it's Survivor Series where it's a 10-man, and I just hate them. Like even the one on SmackDown this week, I just hate them so much because they don't serve a purpose. Because all the time you're about to go into a match with these people. Like normally on SmackDown, it's a set up for a 4-way tag match. So they decided to put two teams together on the match before the pay-per-view for that to happen, and it's just like, why are you pretending to be friends when you got to fight him in 3 days? So I hate any 8-man tag match. It just serves no purpose unless it's Survivor Series.
And then the fact about the match that really frustrates me is that the best kept secret is that FTR doesn't like the Young Bucks. So why would you even team up with the Young Bucks in this situation? Why would the Young Bucks even waste their time to come out there and save them when FTR doesn't even say their name? I just felt like, I understand that you have a Fyter Fest card to put on, but sometimes you need to have things that just make sense. It's like, I guess you want people to pay for FTR versus the Young Bucks.
Well, do you guys prefer, like for me, their tag team division at least has a mid-card tag team division. Like there are people challenging for the belts, the best friends, and they're champions, Hangman Page and Omega. And then you also have this middle ground feud of the Revival, the Bucks, the Lucha Bros, and now the Butcher and the Blade. I feel like I like that some tag team hatred toward each other, just intertwining with it. I'm okay with this.
I can see where you're okay with this, Marcus, but for me, when I look at the bigger picture, I look at Butcher and the Blade, the Lucha Brothers, being sacrificed for the greater good of the Young Bucks and FTR. Because, I mean, ultimately, that's who they care about. And it's a possibility that the Butcher and the Blade may get a win or the Lucha Brothers may get the win, but it's only going to be because not how good they were in the match, but just because FTR and the Young Bucks could not get along with each other. And I think that defeats the purpose of trying to build up teams. So to me, they look like lower teams and not even mid-card tag teams. And yeah, they have a lot of teams, but none of these teams mean absolutely anything to me. That's just how I feel. Now moving on, because, you know, Wes and B More pointed out that he enjoyed the Britt Baker shenanigans. And this is where I would like to get you guys' take on this one, because I feel that it's too much Britt Baker on the show. And the person that they have her interacting with is another rising star in AEW, in my opinion. I was not a big fan of Big Swole, but I think she brings something new to the women's division that is lacking right now. However, she is supposed to be the good guy in this situation, but in my opinion, she's doing a lot of villainous stuff. Like, the thing is, she is technically picking on an injured person. Whether Britt Baker is talking mad trash about her, she's supposed to take the high road. She's getting in the ring dumping garbage on her. This doesn't seem right. I think it would have been better if Big Swole would have had a match, and then you can have Britt Baker, you know, send notes talking bad about her. I'm not 100% sure where to go, but I just don't like the way that they're booking Big Swole. Marcus, you're nodding your head. Do you have an opinion or piggyback on what I said?
Well, I wouldn't be able to show if I didn't have an opinion, baby. But so what I'm going to say is this: I agree with the fact that Big Swole had a match, and Big Britt Baker was talking shit and passing notes and stuff, it would have made more sense for me then. This edition felt more like a rerun of what they did the previous week, and when she's passing notes, and then she ended up in the dumpster. Did she end up in the dumpster again?
No, the dumpster ended up on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she emptied it.
Yeah, it was some Home Alone shit. So, yeah, I wasn't as fan of it this week. I think Britt Baker's doing her job well, but I do not feel like this is a feud that's going to help Big Swole in the end. Whenever Britt Baker's healthy, she's going to defeat Big Swole, and that will be the end of it. And I don't feel like it's bullying when the person's a piece of shit like Dr. Britt Baker, Eric.
Yes, but at the same time, as the face of a company, you always take the high road. You always are the positive influence. Like, you know what? I'm going to be above the bullying. I'm just not going to let this person get to me. And two, it's a point that you have no return to lash out at her.
Jeff Hardy threw piss into Sheamus's face.
Marcus, he tried to get him thrown into prison. Yeah. Marcus, Sheamus tried to get him in prison.
There was no prison involved. He's not on probation. He threw a gallon or maybe 2 gallons of piss in Sheamus's face.
Manny, I'm going to go to you because you're a sensible person in this situation.
That's the high road.
Manny, what Sheamus did to Jeff Hardy warranted it piss thrown into his face. Only thing that Britt Baker has really done about Big Swole is talk a lot of trash. Do you think the bullying should take place?
Well, it's not really bullying. If you're talking trash, you're allowed to retaliate.
Maybe.
Like, not everyone's a good Christian boy, Eric.
Yeah. Everybody's a saint.
Okay. But what the thing with Britt Baker is, she's her gimmicks turned, like, whilst injured, she's dangerously becoming Bad News Barrett. Where she had the platform, and while she's still passing notes and stuff, that may be something something different to having a live microphone, but she's definitely distracting. She's distracting Shivani from calling the action. But like I said, I'm kind of enjoying this interaction, but with her and Big Swole. But the problem is, like when you hear stories about Vince being angry at Randy Orton and Tommaso Ciampa for like almost pushing forward a match that might never happen and getting the fans' hopes up, we are kind of getting getting your hopes up because we know Britt's out for a bit longer. So like you're giving Big Swole a feud to go on, but the other person's got nothing to do. Like Big Swole has got no one to fight at the same time, even though she's fighting someone that's incapacitated. So like unless Britt Baker has like a faction to take away from the fact that she's injured, so the other people fight for her, that would be good because that give Big Swole something to do. So they're still having that back and forth between them, but it's not happening. Like she's got what's that lady's name? Ruby.
Reba.
I think
Reba.
Well, we know this Rebel of the what's the circus group in TNA called?
It was the Nightmare Family.
No, not that circus group. The other way. The circus
FTR?
family with Mike Knox. No, with Mike Knox in Impact.
I don't remember, Mark.
They were the circus family with Crazy Steve.
I remember the people. I remember the components, but I can't remember. Kazarni was in there. I just can't remember.
Were they the Menagerie? They were the
The
Menagerie,
Menagerie,
right?
yes.
Woo, there it is.
No, but I think
she gonna get the ring.
But
she
I
gonna
think-
get the ring.
but I
She
think-
gonna put them tits up.
But I think Manny is right. Like, if you had Big Swole having matches and maybe Ruby would come out and try to interfere in those matches at the direction of Britt Baker, it would be more reason for it to be more tension where, you know, Big Swole still got the win. It just feels like, well, this was technically the best that we had because afterwards, everything else just went to hell. Like, no one wants to see Matt Hardy against Santana in the last wrestling match of the night. No one wanted that. Like,
that was a 17 2-hour-long match.
I mean,
I did not. I would rather watch Jeff Hardy and Baron Corbin surrounded in a tribute to an Undertaker match 12 times in a row before I need to see Matt Hardy and Santana.
And then we get to the closing segment where I thought that I would never see the day, but in my opinion, this was the first time that a Chris Jericho segment did not work for me. Chris Jericho came out to the ring. He pretty much praised Orange Cassidy for creating his own character and being something, being something different and things. And my whole thing is, this man beat you down with 20 pounds of blood oranges. I can't stand across from you and just be civil in this situation. And then next thing you know, it ends into a brawl, pull apart, and that's how the show ends. And I'm like, okay.
There was no pull apart, Eric.
Well, that's what they wanted to be.
Fell down.
An old man fell through a table.
Yeah, I was like, this is not the way that I needed my AEW to end. Just did not need it to end that way. Marcus, do you have anything to add, or can we just move on to NXT, the real show Wednesday night?
I'm going to say the show is trash. I could care less about 90% about what's happening in the show. And maybe I was half sleeping dead, and maybe I was finally seeing it clearly. But I could give a damn about everything that was in the show. And for them to build up to this Orange Cassidy Jericho thing that has no title on the line, at least, if you're going to give me the Cody press conference with Hager, end with that. If you're going to have Brian Cage and Taz talk shit about Mox, end with that. If you're going to have Sonny Kiss, not Sonny Kiss, if you're going to have FTR and the Return of the Lucha Bros, end with that. I just feel like they have the show, they do a show, and they put the show in the wrong order on multiple weeks, and I feel like that's what this show was. The Jericho Orange Cassidy thing could have started the show. The Matt Hardy Santana thing could have been somewhere in the middle of the show. There just seems like there was a production or momentum or placement for things that just seemed like they were just in the wrong spot. It was like they just threw darts on the wall and said that's where the segment's gonna go. And that's how I felt about this end segment. This ain't drawing me. This ain't beating that triple threat match in NXT. I wouldn't end with nothing like that. Get out of here.
I think they could have fixed the entire show if they would just switch 2 matches. All they had to do was switch the FTR SCU match with the Hardy Santana match. Hardy Santana should be first hour if it's going to happen. First hour, not even in the main event spot. It just shouldn't. The match should never happen for no reason. It just should not happen.
It was a match for no reason.
Well, it led to a reason because when we talk about Fyter Fest, Manny, do you have anything to add to the conclusion of Dynamite?
So I was going to ask. So I'm going to ask the exact same thing at the end of NXT. But if you were, are you excited for Fyter Fest based on this episode?
Well, Manny, I plan on answering that question after we talk about NXT because in my production, we're going to have Fyter Fest versus Great American Bash day 1. So we're going to have that conversation. So I will save that as a tease.
In the production meeting we didn't have, that me and Manny shared on our show, on the Untitled Manny and Market show, we were talking about show predictions and giving that person the sharpshooter title, the podcasting wrestling title of the world.
Oh.
And yeah, I thought I brought this up to you, but you don't listen to me anymore.
I'm sure I covered it with Eric when we ended last week.
I've had this conversation before, where we would have our where we would pick the matches and we would have our win losses, and eventually the winner would be crowned the smartest of the show of knowing how to pick shit.
I think it should begin this week.
Okay,
I think with Fyter Fest versus the Bash, we do all our picks, and then we decide who's going to be the sharpshooter champion.
We have 3. Manny, this ride on the boat, man. I'm the captain right here. I'm ready for this. But before we can get to our Fyter Fest versus Great American Bash conversation, we need to
Look at me. I'm the captain.
We need to recap NXT.
You look like you hate that dude. Come on, Eric. We're all in this together now.
I did it all for the Nikki, man. For the Nikki.
For the what?
So you can take the cookie. Anyway, so NXT, as everyone knows, started off anyway where it's the right segment for Grimy. Grimy is like the guy that's going to start the show off because he's Cameron Grimes. He's going to get up. I am Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes.
And this man has literally assaulted Damian Priest again because Damian Priest keeps parking in the same spot and he got up into that ass. And that was
That's his parking spot. He negotiated that in his contract with Regal. I want the parking spot right here where I can't get fucked with.
And that was early in the night. And so Cameron Grimes comes out to the ring and he literally is like, I should win. Damian Priest ain't showing up. I'm going to win this match. And then shit made sense for me in this situation. Damian Priest comes down to the ring, ribs tape. He's like, nah, I'm whooping his ass. They have a match and Cameron Grimes wins. I thought this was like a smart win because Grimes probably can't beat Priest when he's at 100%. But when he's nursing those tape ribs, I thought both people were elevated in this segment. Marcus, you have a smirk on your face for people who are watching video. Do you hate this?
I didn't even know I had a smirk on my face. I was just thinking about Cameron Grimes. I was just thinking about him in his little boots and just go, oh, Cameron Grimes, this is my life now. It's the most hillbilly shit I've ever seen in my life. But I actually enjoyed this match, and I'm gonna say a hot take right now. This is my favorite Damian Priest match ever. I know he had the great match with Finn Balor, but the reason I'm saying this is because I really like the selling, and he made Grimes double cave-in stump look like the most devastating move ever, and his back may never be the same. And I felt like he made Grimes look good. They elevated the storyline, and in the conclusion, this is one of these low-level things that I didn't think I wanted until this episode of NXT, and I got it.
Manny, are you?
Cameron Grimes is still a goof, and I can make more money on Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss than I can.
No, we speak more about Cameron Grimes ever than we do about Joey Janela.
Manny, that is typical Marcus and grand finale-ness right now because he doesn't want to admit that I'm right, that Cameron Grimes is not as bad as he is. So that's why he's trying to go with the whole smoke and mirrors. Oh, yeah, Joey Janela is better than Cameron Grimes. When he said on many episodes, Joey Janela ain't crap. But Manny, did you think the right person?
Joey Janela ain't crap, but Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss, I could get a dime out of that.
See, Manny.
I can squeeze something out of that. All right, squeeze some orange juice out of that. I can't do shit.
If you notice, when you make a point to Marcus and you know you're right, he'll get really close to the camera and try to zoom in like I'm telling the truth. It's all right, Marcus. I understand who you are. So, Manny, Cameron Grimes got the win. I don't think you have the same amount of hatred for Cameron Grimes that Marcus had, but I don't think that Priest looked weak in this situation. Would you agree?
No, they both came off strong, like Marcus said. Like they both definitely came off strong. It was a very good match. I thought it was going to just be a squash match, but then it turned out to be an okay match. But the question I have for you,
okay, let me go back on camera.
Who wore the tape ribs better, DDP or Damian Priest?
See, that's not even fair because like DDP is the originator of the tape ribs. I don't think he ever had a match that he didn't have tape ribs on. So I'm going to give it to the man who created DDP Yoga. And if I ever did DDP Yoga, I would lose more weight. But, I just pay for it, but I don't do it. So DDP. But Damian Priest.
I work at tape ribs every day at my job. I just show up with tape ribs. It's been there for 12 weeks already.
But I believe that the Damian Priest face turn is a nice gradual face turn that I'm really appreciating. But you know how Marcus said it was something that he didn't know he wanted? Well, the very next segment was something, Marcus, I didn't know I wanted, but I'm all in about it. That was the whole Robert Stone confronting Rhea Ripley. Then Rhea Ripley dumping Robert Stone into the trash can. Then Aaliyah coming in, slapping Rhea Ripley, which leads to a match where Rhea Ripley beats Aaliyah, but then it leads to a backstage segment where Robert Stone and Aaliyah is talking a bunch of shit and says that, yeah, we should get a handicap match, and if we beat her, then Rhea Ripley is part of the Stone Enterprises, and I have never wanted Rhea Ripley to be a part of Robert Stone's brand as much in that moment. I am so invested into this match that is beyond belief. Manny, I know you hate Aaliyah, but you have to admit you became invested. The whole thought of Robert Stone managing Rhea Ripley against her own will.
No, Eric. You're forgetting one thing. The only thing I was invested about Aaliyah this week was the potential of her being thrown in the trash with Robert Stone. And that's what should have happened. But then, as we spoke on Thursday, it was a lot like, I think she's going to accidentally accidentally win and then somehow end up with Robert Stone, and that's where it will uncover the problems that I've had with Rhea, where she's very weak in her promos. Yeah. And I think having someone that can speak for her will probably be a better idea and get her further than she needs to be.
What I really loved about it though is when Aaliyah slapped Rhea, she realized she made a mistake, and I think she thought she was gonna end up in that trash can too. It was like, oh man, this is not what I wanted. Marcus, did you laugh at the slapping?
I'm better than Kushida and Kalisto. So this segment, it's one of those things, like you said, I don't know if I wanted it, and I don't know where it was going, but the desperation of Aaliyah's face when Robert Stone was thrown into the dumpster and saying, "That's my manager, you can't do that to me," and her slapping Rhea, I really felt that. I really felt her that, because this is all Aaliyah has. This is what she's clinging on to. But do you guys feel like this is such a downgrade for Rhea Ripley to be at this low-level feud? Because this is the bottom of the barrel of their women's division. This is lower than Kate and Carter and the KC Express.
No. Casey is on a whole level by herself.
Do you feel like this is a downgrade for Rhea, who was at the mountaintop and wrestling on WrestleMania?
Marcus,
I feel like this is such a step down. This is like, what did she do that was so horribly wrong to end up this low in the card?
Well, so Marcus, this is where I think it comes to thinking for the long run. If you really want to establish Io as an established champion, you need to give Rhea a storyline to be invested in, so she's not focused on that championship match. Because like they're going to talk about at next week at the Great American Bash, there's a fatal 4-way for the number one contender for the title, and Rhea is not in that match. So you can arguably say that she has a right to be in that match, but because she's invested dealing with the Robert Stone and Aaliyah, and then she might slip up and become managed by Robert Stone, which will then eventually turn her to a bad guy that Robert Stone leads her like MVP is leading Bobby Lashley to another matchup with Io. I'm okay with that. I think that this is it's an ends to a mean. Like we're taking the long way around. We're gonna take Rhea out, but she's gonna always be there.
But if Robert Stone represents, in his current state, if he represents Rhea Ripley, are we getting a Rhea Ripley feud, or do they just throw her to the trash?
No, Marcus.
And they enjoy each other's company a lot more, and Aaliyah is just kicked to the curb.
I don't know if Manny has anything to...
As they call Janetti.
I don't know if Manny has anything to add to this, but Marcus, I think this is a long run play, and I think that is where that whole thing of when Chelsea Green quit Robert Stone after she got that win, I feel like it's going to play the role as soon as Robert Stone gets that fluke win over Rhea. Bye, Aaliyah. I got what I really want right here. Like, it's like, you're firm. You can let people go. Aaliyah doesn't have to be there. I mean, you got the big dog. You do.
That's true. I know. Excuse me.
So speaking of the big dog, he's not that big, but he's shot as the big dog, and I'm talking about the leader of Legata del Fantasma, which translates into Legacy of Fantasma. That is Santos Escobar with Joaquin.
Did you do that research on your own, or
I did, Marcus?
Did you hear what Moral said?
I did, Marcus, because I was watching you guys' show on Thursday, and you had no idea what his faction was called. So I wanted to make sure on the Saturday show that
I just can't say it. I can't say it. I know what it's called. It's El Liga del Fantasma.
That's not even. It's Legado del Fantasma.
I can't say it. Okay, I can't say the words. Okay.
You can't call him the big dog either. The big dog's at home.
That is also true.
He's ready. He's ready to.
I mean, the big dog is smart to be at home too.
How nasty the PC was gonna be. Him, Sammy.
But let me just tell you something. With Jordan Devlin being caught up in allegations, this is the first time I have actually extremely cared about the Cruiserweight Championship. It's a great thing that Escobar is bigger than his goons that he has. Ryan Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde, they're smaller than him, but they're not that much smaller, but it makes him look like a bigger individual. And Jake Atlas is a hell of a competitor. This was probably one of my favorite matches of the week. Manny, do you have anything to add?
Well, I'm just a bit saddened at the fact that they've got a Filipino playing a Mexican in this faction, which makes me sad.
He should be working with Atlas. Damn it. And Kane Carter could join too. It'd be the first ever Filipino faction in the history of wrestling. Even in the Philippines, you couldn't find this.
Wow, Marcus. Apparently, you're a resident expert in this situation. Marcus,
I'm an expert in Filipino wrestling.
did you enjoy this match?
I really did, and I have one question for you that's more important than this match, Eric.
Okay.
Because I wanted to look at something, and I wanted to notice something. And it was something you brought up about Phantasma or Santos Escobar. You said Phantasma wrestles in those streamers on those boots, and I can't get behind it. This week, Escobar wrestles in those same streamers. Now the question is, can you still get behind this man?
Yeah.
You son of a bitch.
He
You said you would never get behind him.
well, Marcus, just like you said you would never cheer Cameron Grimes, and you did that earlier. So, I mean, things could happen. Hell's
Joey just trying to make more money than him.
I mean, hell can freeze over, Marcus. I'm just saying. Mark,
Okay.
he has
I love these guys.
he has hitmen. I mean, anybody.
I love these guys. I love this match. And it's all building up to Kushida getting that ass.
Okay.
As they say on the streets, no homo.
Okay. I'm just going to leave that
Can't
alone.
say that during Pride Month.
Damn it! I want that. I mean, yay homo.
So then we move on. Roddy finally got into the trunk, which I thought was a good touch. I mean, he found out that Kyle O'Reilly was a psychiatrist, and he wasn't upset at all, which...
Did you think he was going to disappear when he got in the trunk? I felt like there was going to be some magic, and he got in the trunk and he disappeared.
I was hoping that the driver was Dexter Loomis, and he just drove off with him again.
So I think we all had hopes. I was hoping that it was going to be a camera inside the trunk, and the light come on, and it was going to be Dexter Loomis inside the trunk with him. Like, that's what I thought was going to happen. However, it did lead to him having a match, or he tried to have a match with Dexter Loomis, but he wasn't ready, and so he walked out, which I thought was hilarious. And clearly, Bobby Fish, he doesn't have his new tattoo that he has now, because that was taped before, but him getting choked out and him not being afraid of Loomis, it makes it even more hilarious for me that Roddy can't get it. Roddy won't shave. He won't do anything. I'm enjoying this feud right here. I guess that's all we need to talk about on that.
Well, the only thing about the feud is that it seems like maybe the Velveteen Dream has been pulled from this feud. Because
they've made no mention of him. They made no mention of it.
You got to pull him until you figure out if the allegations are true or not, Marcus. You can't have him on your TV. You just can't. You can't take that chance.
I know.
You're a public.
I have a feeling he's gone by the end of the week. Like by next week, he's gone.
That's right. Strap match. I think he's gonna make it.
So
I think he's gonna pull through it.
So
and get released at some random time where you go like, he was still in the company.
So one of my favorite moments of NXT that you guys probably didn't even care about is with Michael Bivens, because Michael Bivens used a word that I love to use, and I know it's not a real word, but he had reached a new height of pistivity. And pistivity because he was pissed at Orkin and Burch. And you damn right I would be. And that's all I had with that. No reason to discuss that.
What, you got money in this share?
I don't know yet. Marcus, the jury is still out.
I need Bivens to not look like a substitute teacher before I start taking this whole team seriously.
Like, he looked like the fake manager.
He might want to go talk.
Like the one that they like. At one point, you see them cutting promos with Bivens, and then 2 weeks down the line, there's another guy there.
I mean, it's like one of the things where you just kind of wish that Santos Escobar would send Joaquin Wild, Ron Mendoza to Michael Bivens, be like, "Hey man, you need to step up your outfit game. We got a guy that can give you this suit." But you just don't know. So you alluded to it earlier, Marcus. The new team of the KC Express, as the announcer says, you never have too many expresses in the game. A team that I actually like went against who I think is the best women's tag team, legit, in WWE right now, over Sasha and Bayley. I said it. That is my girl Dakota Kai, like that,
You just fart.
No, I did not. But with Big Mama Cool, Raquel Gonzalez, I really enjoyed this match, and for the first time, I thought Casey I can't say her name.
Catanzaro.
She actually looked really good in the ring this time. Like, she didn't look timid, and she looked like her offense was hidden. Because, Caden Carter's in this match, I will go to Manny's first for his opinion. Go ahead, Manny.
So, as I alluded on the Manny and Marcus show on Thursday, once again, that the private party need to retire the silly string. Because Caden Carter and Casey Catanzaro did it better than them. And it's the worst move in tag team wrestling, but they pulled it off better than the private party. But like, I can't take Casey Catanzaro seriously in anything. Like, her arm is about...
Even doing her taxes?
Her arm, she's too skinny. I can't take her seriously.
He's like olive oil.
Like, all it would take would be if she was thrown to what's Dakota Kai's partner called?
Raquel Gonzalez. Or
if she was thrown to Gonzalez properly, Gonzalez would throw her out of the PC.
Yeah. I mean, you can call her BMC for short, Big Mama Cool, because that's what they said.
Big Mama was a dope nickname.
It is.
If you call somebody the Big Mama of the women's division, I'm really behind that. And I can't wait to see the two best big women in the game, Rhea Ripley and Raquel Gonzalez, lock up and fight each other to the death. I'm just saying, that's just going to be epic.
And let's just not disrespect Dakota Kai in this one. I think this is the best Dakota Kai has looked. This is I buy her as a heel. And it's like, I hope she wins. I hope she's the first victim for EO. I mean, we all know what's going to lead to. She's going to be a victim for EO. And the last match, which I thought was one of the better matches of the night, because it really told a story, but it protected somebody at the same time. That was my boy, Thick Boy himself, Bronson Reed, who called out Karrion Kross last week. Called him out. He said, you know what? I ain't no punk. I'm going to fight you, man. Meet me in the ring. And, well, Karrion Kross met him in the ring. Whooped his ass. But at the same time, I thought that Reed got enough offense in to stay credible. But Karrion Kross is true money. Right, Marcus?
Yeah, he just looks like a star. And like the whole combo, the whole gimmick and Scarlet and just the whole thing, the fall and pray, like it's like a project that they just got all their shit together and said, we're gonna do this. Like everything I feel like is working and is firing on all cylinders. And I look forward to whoever he challenges in the future, either after the winner takes all or before, or whatever we get to. Him and Keith Lee, him Adam Cole, him and Damian Priest. I don't care. I just look forward to his real feud with him. And I don't believe he's going to be long for this world. I feel like at one point Mr. Man's going to watch NXT and be like, what the hell are we doing? Get this guy up. Yeah. Don't beat Aleister Black's ass.
It's an interesting thing because as I told you guys, I was listening to Busted Open Radio and they had Bully Ray on there. And he was talking about protecting the big man.
I believe he's the host.
No, they switched the host because sometimes it's Mark Henry, sometimes it's Tommy Dreamer, but this was an episode with Bully Ray.
Okay.
And he was talking about protecting your bigness, like, protecting you being a big wrestler in that situation. And he was pointing to the fact of the move when Bronson Reed hit that German suplex on Karrion Kross, like how he sold it. He said it was genius because he said he registered that the move happened, but at the same time, he got up and was like, it's going to take a lot more to stop me than this. Compared to someone like Brody Lee, who was bumping for Sonny Kiss, and the Exalted One should never bump for Sonny Kiss, as he said. Manny, did you feel like Sonny Kiss got a kick mark. You're half asleep. Sonny Kiss put Brody Lee down on the ground a couple of times. Manny, I'm turning to you. Karrion Kross, do you see him as a big man in the game, or it's just because he's at NXT right now?
I was gonna ask the exact same question. Did they miss a trick by not putting him on Raw or SmackDown, but instead put him on NXT? Because I think the whole entrance, the whole gimmick, his ring style. I think he should be on a main network right now.
So, I would say the reason why I wouldn't do that right now is because we're in the COVID era of wrestling. Because, like, I think the NXT crowd or the audience who watches NXT would appreciate that interest, and we get all invested. But if you're gonna have that person debut on SmackDown or Raw, it's a very Undertaker-ish type of debut. I need to have fans in there that will go absolutely batshit crazy when he debuts. So, yeah, he might not be long for the NXT world, but the time that he's there, he's really making an impression. I can see him be hot-shotted like Matt Riddle was. Because, like, on SmackDown, Matt Riddle looks like he belongs on the SmackDown roster. And that was pretty...
SmackDown needs help.
Huh? They do, man.
SmackDown needs help. Are you about to say that's pretty much the end of the NXT report?
That is.
You're not going to talk about the triple threat?
Oh, shit. My bad, Marcus.
You don't give a damn. You don't give a damn. How could you do that?
No, but the worst part is he spent 45 minutes on AEW.
I did.
Yeah, he spent 45 minutes on AEW and 30 minutes talking about Sonny Kiss and Joey Janela.
And the best show and the better show of the week between the two of them was NXT, and he spent 45 minutes on AEW.
Can I point out that in this ratings war of AEW and NXT,
wait. We got him.
We got one. We got one.
No. We got him. I don't like that guy. I hate that guy.
Oh,
wow.
Oh yeah.
Betty, it clearly shows the guy that we're not going to say his name, but Betty gets frustrated with that guy.
So does Marcus.
I'm annoyed by the guy. If he's a listener to this or a viewer of this show, I appreciate his viewership. But you're annoying. I just can't take it anymore. You're annoying. But I believe people are. If you're shocked by the ratings, if you look at NXT and the quality of this show compared to what AEW had, it was leaps above the ground. Like it had so much start. Karrion Kross and this triple threat match, and even your boy Cameron Grimes to start this show from up to down. This show was something that I have to watch. Every segment seemed important. Every segment had a purpose. It was paced right. I just felt like it was the far superior show this week.
But I think
the ratings showed that this week for a change.
Well, the thing that if you go back to all of the ratings that when NXT does win, it's not like NXT wins by a little bit. They win by a lot. According to this week.
No. They win by a little bit. This is the only one they ever won by a lot.
I don't think.
Yeah, this is the biggest difference between the both.
Well, maybe I'm just watching it through my WWE rose-colored glasses, man. You know how I do things in this world.
The Bret Hart glasses.
But Marcus, you talked about the triple threat match. Marcus, the thing was, it was so perfect and so good that I did forget about it, and I shouldn't forget about it because I thought what they did very well in this match is they protected the big man. Keith Lee is 2 times the size of both Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano. But at the same time, Johnny and Finn had to realize that they needed to work together to chop this big man down. And when they finally chopped him down, it still wasn't enough. And now we're going to get a match on July 8th, Marcus, that I don't know what's going to happen. Adam Cole or Keith Lee.
That was a long pause.
It was.
I think you went a little too long on that pause. Because I thought you forgot who the man was.
Marcus, full disclosure, I did.
Well, that doesn't say much about Keith Lee's star power. But I'm looking forward to that match. And this was a situation. What?
Oh, the COVID. The COVID, y'all.
The COVID. This is a situation in which I was watching a match in which I did not know who was going to win. And I did not care who won because I felt like the best wrestler versus the best wrestler was going to happen July 8th with Adam Cole wrestling any one of these guys. I'm down for it. I think I said it on the show previously, whether it's Cole and Gargano again, whether it's Lee and Cole, and even Balor and Cole, I would have been all in for it. And so that's what we got here. And I really enjoyed this match. Everybody did their end. And, Keith Lee's going to get the belt. I think this is it. He's going to be Limitless Keith Lee. Officially evolved into official Limitless Keith Lee.
Let's point out,
get both belts.
Because you can't take this for granted. You got to think about who did Keith Lee pin in this match. He pinned Finn Balor. What does Finn Balor has that nobody else in NXT has?
Abs!
Well, besides abs, he was at one time the WWE Universal Champion. So that was a big pin for Keith Lee in that situation. Manny, was there anything that you were bothered by in this triple threat match?
The only thing I could say that I was bothered by is also a positive. It was that it only got roughly about 15 minutes TV time, but it was that good of a match. It just left you wanting more, and that was the positive they got from this. That I took from this. It was just like, yes, it was short, but it was good, and it still leaves it in the open that if I would, they could do it again, and I'd be happy with it and get another and make it half an hour, and that could easily be a takeover match. That was a really good match.
I think,
and then it leads into 2 weeks where you're going to get a phenomenal match between Keith Lee and Adam Cole, because you're going to get big man, small man, and that's always going to be a good match, even though Keith Lee wrestles like a little man sometimes. But like, you're going to get a really good match, and I think that is a way better match than anything that's on Fyter Fest. And both weeks.
And I think the thing about WWE is that they follow the KISS method. Keeping it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. NXT was a simple show. Good wrestling, good storytelling, no bells and whistles. We don't need to have people flip out into 100 people who don't need to be in the crowd. We don't need to have people honk a horn and make an 8-man tag match. We don't need a man to oversell Orange Cassidy and have some type of mediocre pull apart. And you don't have a main event with Matt Hardy versus Santana. It's just good, old-fashioned, pure wrestling. And it's something that does it better than SmackDown and Raw does it sometimes. And that's what I appreciated more.
Oh, we still got those shows, huh?
Well, we're going to kind of just finagle our way through those shows, man. Nothing happened on SmackDown, man.
Yeah. Can I also attribute SmackDown was such a house show? It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
But Marcus, we can't...
I'm going to attribute the high rating to somebody that you would not expect. The MVP of NXT wasn't even on the show. And that goes to Sasha and Bayley, who beat Jericho and Sammy Guevara, who is currently suspended, last week, which people tuned in to actually watch, where they got the advertisement to keep the triple threat match, to watch Karrion Kross versus Bronson Reed. I feel like those extra viewers in that main event carried this show.
Because we're about to start talking about Fyter Fest and the Great American Bash. My question for you guys, I don't know if you guys noticed this when you were watching AEW, but did you notice that when Hager came out, or when Santana and Ortiz came out, they really didn't mention them being part of the Inner Circle? Like, they kept the Inner Circle mentionings down really to a limit. It was like they were all their own separate entity. Do you think with the...
Well, Sammy's in it.
No, but do you think with the whole stuff surrounding Sammy Guevara that they're just like, okay, you guys are kind of on your own right now?
Well, they removed him from the intro package as well.
Yep. They had... I feel like if you mention the Inner Circle, you have to mention Sammy Guevara, and you have to mention why he was suspended. Even though I'm shocked, because AEW normally brings up, like, the reason Jon Moxley's in here is COVID reason. WWE would never talk about COVID. Or what happened while people were here.
Thing is, I don't think you want to be bringing that up. Like,
Yeah, I know.
That will detract viewers. Like, you can talk about COVID. You can't obviously talk about it on YouTube if you want to be monetized, but like, you can't openly talk about those cases a lot.
Well, because you don't want to make yourself a witness. That's usually the number one reason. And then you don't want to make the victim be bad. Like when it comes to the Sammy Guevara situation, a part of me kind of wish they would have released him because he actually kind of patched things up with Sasha, and I would love to see what they could really do with the Sammy Guevara in the NXT because his accusations are not as bad as some of the other people's allegations, like Velveteen Dream. But we're not here.
Stupid.
Yeah, he seemed like he's a young punk that says things like, if you go back to the things that we said 10 years ago, I'm assuming that we offended a lot of people. And I'm afraid of that.
I said stuff 10 years ago. I said things 2 weeks ago. I said things today that probably offended somebody.
You did. But speaking of today, this is the first official points for the Manny, Marcus, and Eric stakes for the championship belt of the title, where we will determine.
Why can't it just be the sharpshooter title? Why did it go so complicated?
Because I decided to make it more complicated than what it should be. So someone needs
to call it the YouTube title, and maybe they give us some more money.
Someone needs to tally up and keep track of this stuff. But we were now picked for Fyter Fest Night 1. Night 1. We have Kenny Omega and Adam Page going against the best friends. Manny, I will go to you. Who do you select to win this match?
Kenny Omega and Adam Page.
Marcus, I turn to you. Who do you select to win this match?
Because I don't want to lose this, I'm going with Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. This is a tie either way.
This will be a trifecta. I am also going with Kenny Omega and Adam Page. I will not let this match be the match that put me behind everybody else.
Like the sure thing?
Oh, wait. If we end up picking all the same things, I think we need to pick a challenge match that counts as 2.
I don't think we're going to pick the same thing because I think we all have different opinions in this situation. Moving on to the TNT Championship match. Jake Hager versus Cody Rhodes. Marcus, I turn to you. Who are you selecting to win this match?
There's only one person. It's Cody and the title. I don't even know who his opponent is. Cody.
Manny, I now turn to you for your selection. Who are you taking?
Cody Rhodes doesn't lose.
Unless he has to compete for the AEW title, in which he forces himself never to become champion.
As much as I want to be an outliner in this situation, the track record has been proven way too much that Cody Rhodes does not lose. Once again, we have another trifecta. We all select the same wrestler. Now, this is where it gets really complicated. Another tag match for night 1 of Fyter Fest. We have MJF teaming up with arguably not the worst big man in the game, Wardlow, going against the Jurassic Express. A match that no one wants.
Shit.
But it's a match that we are getting. Manny, who are you selecting to win this match?
MJF and Wardlow.
Well, you don't seem very confident about this pick, my brother.
This could be your one. This could be your one. You can separate from the pack.
I don't like this match at all anyway. The fact that it's on a card, why would you want to watch that? Would you pay if this was a paid card, would you pay to watch this?
Manny, it gets worse. The next match I will tell you after this one. But are you going
Why are you talking like that?
Because we
He's broken Eric.
So Manny,
Eric with a K, as I like to call
Are
him.
you going with the MJF and Wardlow pick? Is that your final pick?
Yep.
Marcus, I turn to you. Do you have?
I ain't picking no damn dinosaur. I'm picking MJF and Wardlow with the ring.
At this point, I will go on my own. I am going to select the Jurassic Express. This will put me. This will probably put me behind everyone else, but it would not be fun if everyone had the trifecta. So I am taking the Jurassic Express. Now,
so you're the only one that's taking the Jurassic Express.
Yes, I understand.
Wow.
Are you writing this down?
No,
I was.
Yes, Manny is taking this.
Thank you, man.
Now, for the last match of night 1 of Fyter Fest, a match that no one wants and no one needs. Marcus, I turn to you.
I don't even know what it is.
Private Party against Santana and Ortiz, Marcus. Who do you have? in this situation?
Because the Private Party is getting led by their white savior, Matt Hardy. I am going to go with the Private Party defeating Santana and Ortiz. I do not like it, but I think it's going to happen.
Manny, I now turn to you.
For that exact reason, and the other reason being that they just can't win without Chris Jericho, I'm going Private Party.
It's a Private Party! Get your shots at Party!
For the exact same reasons you guys have given, the trifecta has happened again. I am also selecting the Private Party.
Don't worry, we're going to have breaks. We're going to have breaks, guys.
So now,
We got one over.
that is night one of Fyter Fest. Let's move to night...
Wait, no. That can't be night one.
That is night one, Marcus.
That's it?
That's it.
That is an awful card.
That's it?
That's it.
So what? Are these all getting half an hour each?
I'm assuming they're going to have other stuff sprinkled in, but these are what they have advertised for Fyter Fest night one.
So are we going to throw in... Are we going to... If anything else... I can't get involved in anything else that happens because I don't watch AEW live.
That's why we're doing... No, so these are the only picks that we're picking. Now we're moving over to the night one of Great American Bash. This is where things get a little dicey. We have the strap match that Marcus is so excited about between Roderick Strong and Dexter Lumis. Marcus, who are you taking to win this match?
Well, boy, do I love people getting hit with straps.
Strap-ons. Oh, I didn't hear that. I don't think that got picked up on mic.
I did, but I'm not paying attention because I'm in hosting mode.
I'm going to go Dexter Lumis with the choke out.
Manny, will you continue the tandem of you selecting Dexter Lumis, or will you go with Roderick Strong?
I don't know what this voice is. It feels like it's a game show voice mixed with the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech. What is this voice?
I don't know what it is either, but it started with the segment, so it shall stay until we do all of our picks.
I've got Dexter Lumis.
Once again, the trifecta is met again.
God damn it.
Marcus and Manny have a chance to be ahead of me by one because I was a fool and selected Jurassic Express, which I have regrets now.
Those clowns? That's gonna be the thing. If that gets you the title, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be upset. If that gets you the title, I'm gonna be pissed.
But the title will not.
Pissed.
But the title will not be delivered until after the second week of the card. So Marcus, now I'm going to Manny first. Manny, it is now for the number one contender for EO's belt. You have Tegan Knox, you have Mia Yim, you have Candice LeRae, and you have Dakota Kai. Who will win this match?
Dakota Kai.
Ooh, okay. Marcus, I turn to you as Manny selects Dakota Kai.
As Dakota Kai laid the seeds into the camera that said, EO, I'm coming for you, nigga. I am going to have to go in a different direction from the group. And I am going to choose me and you for $500.
Ooh, wow. Everybody, this is the first time where headway can be made because I was originally going to go with Dakota Kai. But then I thought about it. Dakota Kai is on this spike of going up. So I will take someone who can lose and who can fight EO. I will select the Dark Pixie, Candice LeRae, to win this match.
It's the Poison Pixie.
It doesn't matter what her name is, Marcus. It doesn't matter.
Oh man, we got ground. We might get a championship. I really hope me and you wins me the title.
I think your BAM pick is worse than my Jurassic Express pick, Marcus.
You fool.
And now, the last match of the Great American Bash that has been announced. It is Rob Stone and Aaliyah going against Rhea Ripley. I will pick first. I am taking Rob Stone and Aaliyah. Manny, who are you taking?
As much as I hate Aaliyah, I'm taking them too. Because I would love to see Rhea Ripley be managed by Robert Stone.
Marcus,
Okay.
It's on you.
I'm going a different route with this one, all right?
There's only one route that we all know the route.
I'm going with double disqualification. Boom! I'm saying. Not like, Rhea Ripley is going to win. I know you guys have dreams and delusions of grandeur for Rob Snow, but I believe he's just going to stay a low-level act with Aaliyah. I do not see Aaliyah, Ripley, and Snow becoming a thing. I'm picking Ripley. Believe it or not.
Bank on it?
No, believe it or not. There's a reference to that.
Believe
Come on,
it
man.
or not.
No, Ripley's Believe It or Not. God damn it. It was a pun
I
intended.
thought you were going NFL this morning.
No, I had a pun of Ripley's Believe It or Not, and it's ruined. Thank you guys. Thanks.
So Marcus, hopefully Manny doesn't have a rage and erase his whiteboard.
I'll take a picture of it now.
Or, alternate it and I have to go to the tape. I've never picked me in my life.
And it's the reason why. She never wins. With that being said, our picks are in for the first Wednesday Night War. I'm excited about this. But now we need to breeze through Raw and SmackDown. People, SmackDown happened. That's all you really need to know. For whatever reason, Jeff Hardy was the champion for The Undertaker. Don't understand why, but he was.
They had that match back in the 90s.
And he led the way. My question for you gents is, was Baron Corbin the perfect choice for the person to talk bad about The Undertaker and take the beat down from the entire locker room?
Well, he's a joke and a clown and a king. He was the right person for the choice. But I do not support anything that happens at the SmackDown or in that match. I did not want this. You talk about Matt Hardy and Santana being the worst man to be of the week. How could that be when you have Jeff Hardy and Baron Corbin? Neither one of them got me hyped for anything.
But the thing was, it wasn't a bad match.
No, it wasn't. But it was nothing that I really was invested in. I knew the outcome. It just shouldn't. I wasn't.
But did you expect?
You could have won it on the 8-man tag. I would have been happy.
Did you expect the entire locker room to attack Baron Corbin afterwards?
Yes.
Okay. Manny, do you have anything to add to
Those
SmackDown?
Cowards.
The only thing that people should have been caring about was when Baron Corbin dropped to one knee. I wanted to spin a Rooney.
I think we all did. So now we talk about Monday Night Raw, which was billed as.
Oh wow! Damn!
This is gonna be quick.
Cross became #1 contender. That was more important than Baron Corbin.
Do you know what I got really confused about that match was last week the backstage segment with all the women wrestlers. You had Tamina and Naomi there, and then they weren't even involved in this match.
Because they ain't getting sick, man. Hey, Marcus, shout out to you for ordering your Tamina shirt. If that was a real order.
It was.
That looked like a custom shirt that you were talking about this is my Tamina shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what that shirt exactly was, but he looked like he ordered something. Marcus, you're right. I did have that on one of my brief notes to talk about that Nikki Cross defeated Alexa Bliss, Lacey Evans, and Dana Brooke, who should have never been in the match, to become the #1 contender.
The other thing isn't Dana Brooke stealing Alexa Bliss's look? They both had like the little pink.
I mean,
yeah.
The thing about Dana Brooke is like I'm okay with Dana Brooke until she starts talking, and that's just the worst part about it. It's just like,
what do you mean? You don't like mass flex appeal, huh? Yeah, like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm Dana Brooke.
Wow. Marcus did say he was gonna offend somebody. He just did. People were speech impediment.
Right there. Dana Brooke?
What do you think? Does she deserve to have a swanton bomb?
No, but
No.
if she can do it, why not?
Can we get to better? I would rather see Naomi and Carmella in this match than the women I had in this match. What happened to them?
So see, what really bothered me about this match, Mark, is that Dana Brooke really didn't belong. What they could have did was they could have kept Lacey Evans in that match and then put Sonya Deville in the match also, because she's always talking about how she doesn't get any opportunity, and then you could have kept the feud between them going. But, What can I say? But Monday Night Raw had
the Golden Role Models not accepting their name as the
they
Golden
are not
Role
the
Models.
Golden Role
So
Models.
I was like, I heard this name. I didn't know when they started calling them, but they clarified we have never called ourselves this, and this is propaganda from Michael Cole and Mauro Ranallo.
I just need to keep rolling to Monday Night Raw, which was billed as Championship Monday.
You've got one more, and you haven't hit it yet.
Manny, you should have faith that I'm going to hit that, you know. So, with that being said, Monday Night Raw started off a little bit differently than it normally has. They had a voiceover that previewed everything that happened and what we should expect tonight. Did you guys like that preview? Do you even remember the preview? Huh?
Don't they normally have this guy?
No.
Don't they normally have the voiceover preview guy like tonight, and this guy's going to do this and this stuff? They always have that. I'm okay with it.
Okay.
I normally skip that bit.
Okay, that's fair. So this was Championship Monday. So when it's a championship day, you should start off with the champion, which they did. Drew McIntyre. However, Drew McIntyre got interrupted by Dolph Ziggler, who not only was traded to Monday Night Raw for him and Bobby Roode for AJ Styles, but he also found his way into a championship match at Extreme Rules against Drew McIntyre. This makes no sense, but at the same time, Drew McIntyre has nobody else to fight. So I'm okay with this for the time being. Do you guys disagree or agree?
I could have easily had Bobby Lashley go again.
Okay. And Marcus, you agree with Manny in this?
I think I guess Bobby is moving on to the U.S. title, but I do not feel like Dolph Ziggler deserved to be in this position. He's only here because Jinder Mahal got injured.
Okay. Then we had the Street Profits go against the Viking Raiders. The Viking Raiders finally scratched that itch they could never reach, and they defeated the Viking Raiders, and now they are best buds. But after the match, they were attacked by Garza and Andrade, who are now on the same page. Do you like the transition from the Profits fighting the Raiders to going to Garza and Andrade, Marcus?
Yeah, I think it's gonna work better. Although I don't know where the Viking Raiders go from here. To be honest, after this feud, they're just kind of gonna be lost in the shuffle. But it's gonna be a serious feud with the Street Profits and the Garza and Selena's guys, which is also gonna bring back Bianca Belair to fight Selena. We're back where we started at the beginning of the pandemic, and I'm happy about that.
All right, Manny, do you have anything to add to Marcus' happiness?
Well, we've gone full circle back to March. But
the three tag teams they have.
But the thing that never was really ever explained was these two were beefing before the fight last week. You had Andrade and Angel Garza fighting within themselves. No explanation of how they've resolved their issues.
Well, Zelina said when she ignored Chuck, or Chuck ignored Zelina, which they have like the most catty feud for no purpose whatsoever. She said that they found something that they could be on common ground with, and that's the tag team championship. I mean, my big issue that I have with Andrade and Garza is the fact that Garza does not change his outfit. I really need him to step up his game. Like his Gucci green sweater with his pants, I need him to put the suit on like Andrade got on. Like you guys they got to get on the side. Get on the same page.
This is his pandemic outfit.
Maybe it is. Maybe he doesn't have anything else.
He can't get another one. Just like the TNT title, it's unfinished.
So also the 24/7 title changed hands. Tozawa was able to accomplish the greatest feat ever. And I guess this is payback for being called a ramen noodle by Jerry Lawler. He gets the whole gold again in WWE.
I'm not being funny, but Jerry Lawler could have said way worse.
He could have. But he didn't.
And I'm thinking, I've got 4 ready just in my head.
No, Manny. I understand that you are the Asian representative on here, but please do not demonetize us with your hate. We need to keep rolling, people. We got to keep it rolling. Now,
is it your way? Is it your way, Eric? Your way or the highway?
This time you're going to let it all out. This time you're going to let it up and shout.
I don't have time for this. Because I'm doing this for the nookie. The what? So you can take that cookie.
How'd you know I had a cookie?
Asuka.
I'm sticking up my ass though.
Asuka finally defeated Charlotte, but earlier in the night she was attacked by Nia Jax, and then it was announced that Charlotte will be taking some time off from the ring. I guess everyone should be happy now. Charlotte is gone. Hope you guys are happy.
Chris isn't in the chat, but I presume he's ecstatic.
I'm sure it's several people. There's Chris. I believe Jen in the mid-card, man. There's so many people that hate Charlotte Flair, and I'm going to miss Charlotte Flair because the division is now worse without the best wrestler in their division. Yeah, I said it.
All right. There you go, Marcus. Manny, you have
Can I tell you my favorite? Oh, can I tell you my favorite part of the week?
Go ahead.
Nia Jax breaks Charlotte's arm for good this time. And Charlotte's writhing in pain. And then there was some guy who just glasses and curly hair walks over. Looks like a creepy guy. He's like, Charlotte, can I touch you? And she goes, no! And then they cut away. And I go, because they never identified that guy as a doctor. To me, I just died laughing at that.
I need to go back and watch that now.
I feel like I have to go back and see that too because I did not notice that.
It is so funny to me. And I was like, this is great. This guy's like, Charlotte, can I touch you? She's like, no. And then it's cut away. And I'm like, why?
I just know that I did see that some people were upset the fact that Asuka had to win this way. They were like, Asuka don't need no help with Nia Jax breaking Charlotte's arm. And I'm just like, just let Asuka get her win, damn it. Let her get her win.
This be a long-term feud. This is a career feud. Asuka and Charlotte could be a career feud in which Charlotte always has the number from Asuka, but Asuka got her this time, but Charlotte can claim she's injured. They can keep going back to this. It's not like they put on dog shit matches. They put on really good matches.
Go ahead, Manny. Look like you was about to say something.
Charlotte gets given the ball quite a lot, but she always delivers. Like, you can tell, you can see various people in the women's division that have been given the ball in the past and have not delivered. Not even come close. Nia Jax. Never come close.
Nia Jax has never gotten the ball. Don't take shots at Tamina. No one is meaner than Tamina. That's what she got. Okay? That's what she got.
So, Edge cut a very stellar promo, and his promos to cut everything short, he said that the Rated R Superstar has been awoken. Marcus, are you happy to see the return of the Rated R Superstar?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the grit. I'm happy that he's Rated R again. I'm assuming he's going to start coming out with Lita and everything, and concertos will happen to the people, and nah. I really enjoyed the promo, and Edge and Orton already has won Feud of the Year, and it's hands down better than anybody else. Just on their mic work alone. And having the greatest wrestling match ever, of course. You know. That's facts.
The thing that I find funny, Marcus, I am happy you're right that we will no longer hear grit. Although all throughout AEW, that's all Jim Ross keeps talking about is grit. I'm like, let's not make grit a thing. As I scratch my nose because it
don't make grit happen.
Yeah, don't make grit happen, man. Manny, what do you think it means?
Is your nose itching from cocaine? Why are you scratching your nose so much?
Don't worry about it, man. I got to stay up for this show, brother.
I'm the one on like a few hours sleep in a Red Bull.
Manny, do you think the Rated R Superstar is going to mean anything different from the Edge that we have now?
Yeah, he'll probably just pull his hair a bit more and like pull the beard a bit more. That's all. That's the only difference between these two. But like, I just need the craziness of Edge.
Bring back Vicky Guerrero.
But
I was watching, they had the Royal Rumble from whenever year John Cena was number 30. I think 2008. And you got to see the Rated R Superstar with his edge heads and all his glory and Vicky in the wheelchair. I miss those days, and I hope we get Vicky Guerrero randomly showing up on SmackDown to be right out with Edge.
The thing that I found really interesting, though, was after they showed the Edge segment, they cut to Randy, who was being interviewed by Chuck, and I just kept asking this question. Did Randy even see this segment? Because he didn't even acknowledge it. He just said, do not back me into a corner. He will defend his family, his livelihood, and he will survive. They will live long and happy lives if they just leave him the fuck alone. And at that point, I agree with Randy in this situation. Leave me alone. I beat you. I am the greatest wrestler ever. I took out your friend, Christian. I took you out. Let's just move on. Don't bring up Kim. Don't bring up my kid. I can bring up your kids, but don't bring up mine. Randy was right in this situation.
Those aren't even Randy's kids.
Most of them are Randy's kids.
No. Randy's kids sound like some shady donations. These are Randy's kids. Oh. I don't donate.
Please donate to Randy's kids. So the only thing I took away from the greatest wrestler ever celebration was the fact that Ric Flair actually acknowledged that his daughter got his ass kicked and he was worried about Charlotte, but he was still out there with Randy.
Bad father.
Yes.
I believe that he would be out there. I feel like he would have went to the trainer or the ambulance with her instead of be like, let me talk about the greatest wrestler ever.
The thing that I like the most about this segment is that Big Show interrupted, and then Randy said the key word, "Are you a legend?" And it's like, he's back on this legend killing mode again. Like, Big Show is about to be killed by Randy. He's going to get punted out, and I think we will all be better off if Big Show is go. They don't even plug his show on Netflix. That's how irrelevant Big Show is right now.
Oh, no, he did. He did it on his own.
Yeah, he did it on his own, and they put it at the bottom on the ticker like 3 times.
But Randy did let everybody know that he is more focused, he is more motivated, and he is not responsible for what he will do. Not responsible at all.
Did you not think Ric Flair was on borrowed time in that ring?
Mark, Manny,
because we were both like on Tuesday. I'm like, yeah, I thought Randy was gonna get Rick.
I thought that was happening.
Eventually, it's gonna happen.
Like, that was the thing.
He's
gonna punt kick Big Show. He's gonna punt kick Ric Flair, and he's gonna lead him in a match with Triple H.
Now, let's talk about the biggest bait and switch of Monday Night Raw. And that goes to the Golden Role Models, those damn heifers.
That's not their
name. They're not called that. That's not their name, okay?
That's not their name. That's not their name.
I'm going to call them that. Anyway, so Sasha gets into the ring, and she starts talking, and then she started talking like she wants to have another title. And you're like, oh my God. And the first thing you're thinking to yourself is like, oh shit, she gonna go after Bayley. She's gonna get the title. And the next thing she says, I'm gonna challenge Asuka. I have to give creative so much credit for knowing how to tease what everybody wants, but still not giving me what I want, but at the same time, give me something that I didn't know I needed. I'm looking forward to Asuka versus Sasha Banks next week, I believe. Right, Marcus?
I think it's Backlash.
Oh, it might be Backlash. It might. It's Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules. Sorry. Wrong show. Extreme Rules Horror Show, which I am not looking forward to. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be 18 different cinematic matches, and I don't think I need that.
Don't you find it funny that we've gone from Backlash, the greatest match ever, to now the Extreme Rules, the horror show?
Yeah.
Yes. It sounds like we finally got to breaking Electric Boogaloo. Or Bring It On, Back for More Cash.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a million different. It's like this is the sequel that went straight to DVD that no one saw, but you saw it on Netflix one day streaming and say, oh, they made one of these, and you put it out and say, that's why nobody saw it.
That's my mama. And so we get the true VIP lounge. The VIP lounge.
Should they win?
Huh?
Should she win?
Who?
Sasha.
No, she's not. Oscar. She's not gonna win. You know she's not.
Give them all the belts. Give them all the belts.
I think Bayley's gonna cost her the match, and then we get the build to SummerSlam.
Yeah, we all know what's gonna happen in this situation.
Oh, I love it. I love that her costing them and going like, I didn't get that one, but I want yours. But I want to give them all the belts. I want to give them every title, including the NXT title. We've never had anything even close to like that in the WWE. And this could be it. They can have all the belts. I'm down to give it to them.
I'm not about all the belts, Marcus.
It's a collection. They can snap their fingers.
Well, I just want to point out, Marcus.
West, because of COVID.
Marcus, West just put something in the chat that might make your prophecy even more greater. That them trying to be the undisputed era. Sasha has apparently challenged EO too. So she's taking 2 shots at Japanese wrestlers trying to take their gold.
You know Sasha don't like no Japanese. We all know this from back in the day. If Sammy Guevara was Japanese, she would not have accepted his phone call and had that discussion.
So the VIP lounge just led to MVP trying to still recruit Apollo Apollo don't want it. Talking about it's gonna be his way. MVP saying that you can't beat my streak.
Highway.
And then he said that the title is coming home to me one way or another. And that's when Shelton Benjamin walks out. They have their little squeamish. And the next thing you know, Bobby Lashley attacks Apollo Crews. I don't think that Bobby Lashley has downgraded himself down to United States Championship, I hope. Or should I be worried, Manny?
I don't think... I would hope that it's a division within MVP's crew. But you don't know. You don't know. We're in a Bruce Pritchard type of way of booking these days.
Black man can't get to the title, man. Black man right there. He right there. Right there. Now he down here. I really wanted Lashley to continue to go for the main title. I understand him and Apollo could probably have an amazing match, and MVP driving the cart for this feud, but I'd rather see Bobby Lashley go for the title. But, I was entertained by this, and that's progressing. And that I think he called himself there to Hurt Business. I don't know if that's an official name or not, just like the Golden Role Models. We don't know. Until there's a t-shirt, it ain't official.
That's not my name. And then the show ended in a better way than AEW did, with the stuff between Ray, Dominic, and the Monday Night Messiah, who may be missing a disciple come Monday because we don't know where Austin Theory is going to be at. But he was on this episode. Are you happy with the way it ended, Marcus? Because I don't remember anything right now. That's why I'm asking you.
Well, pretty much everybody just came out and Humberto and Alistair. No, it ended with them everybody trying to take each other's eye out. That same step in that one corner, and everybody grabbing somebody, grab both arms and try to take each other's eye out. And I felt like no one looked like a good human being in this scenario. No one felt like, you know what, I'm going to be the better man and not try to take somebody's eye. No, everybody decided to gravitate to take each other's eye. But no one's eye was actually taken, so I guess that's a plus.
Well, Marcus, they are calling it the eye for an eye, so it makes sense that they're trying to take our eyes.
We did that already in AEW, okay? Moxley, Santana, who was just an innocent bystander in this feud, lost an eye. Jericho never lost his eye. I don't need any more eye attacks, okay? It was nice with Seth did the first time. I don't need anybody else to take it out.
Manny, do you have anything to add to Marcus and his comments?
If anyone didn't watch this segment, the only way I can actually ever describe what happened was if you've ever watched an episode of Scooby-Doo and you see when the gang are chasing the villain and then suddenly for some reason it's now the gang running away from the villain and they're going like that. That's basically how this happened. It was awful. It ended in chaos and I didn't enjoy it.
Well, and now it's time for us to enjoy what we always enjoy. We're moving on, and I realized I have failed the city, just like the Arrow did, because I did not make a graphic for listener feedback.
Man, you need to talk to the pros on how to do this stuff, man. I am the king of productions and bells and whistles. Next week, we got Pyro. Man, you don't know this, but I strapped your chair to and you will explode. So it's supposed to look just like the Dynamite entrance, so you're going to have to clean up all the powder and shit at the end of it. But it's going to be an amazing show. Okay?
Manny and Marcus show. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Manny and Marcus show. Hey, hey. Ho, ho.
Whatever.
The hottest YouTube video streaming service involving Manny and Marcus on the Sharpshooter Network today.
That's all right.
Facts.
And everybody, just let you guys know, it's a possibility within the month, if we're not canceled, we may actually have t-shirts. Who knows? We'll see.
Oh, we're going to make money!
No, we're not, because Marcus, in order to have, people have to want to order t-shirts. But we'll see.
Oh, they going to need it.
Buy a shirt!
Our first...
Do it or else. Do it or Manny is going to explode, okay? I will blow Manny up right now if you don't order a t-shirt. This isn't a threat. This is a promise. Sorry, Manny.
This was an elaborate ruse, wasn't it? You just wanted the Marcus show.
That's all it is.
All along. The Untitled Marcus show. Sorry. The Untitled Marcus, who's entitled to having his own show.
And then we could have a Netflix special of how Marcus traveled all the way to London, tracked down Manny, put him in the ditch so he could have a podcast by himself. Yes. So our first email.
That's a lot of work, and when I could just not answer the Skype call.
You're the one that rings me because.
I mean, you
Well,
saw.
I don't know if I'm ever gonna have my shit together whenever I wake up to do these shows.
Manny, you
I
saw.
just work 12 hours.
I wait for you to ring me because I know you're not always ready at 10:30.
All right.
Yeah,
So
never.
Chris says, "What's new and exciting in your week?" Okay. So Manny claims he's not retired and not a former spy. So what you do, Manny? Do you want to expose to the world what you do for a living, or do you want to get?
When did I ever? Where does this? I'm a spy. I'm retired. Chris, I need you to explain this because either you're calling me extremely old.
So
Are
Manny,
you English?
yeah, I think you're English, so your accent makes you more James Bondish or something like that. You know how us Americans you know how we do it.
Yeah, but like you've got to realize, like, as much as the English accent changes wherever you are in England, the American accent changes wherever you are in America.
Yes, Marcus and I found out that we had a California accent when we was in New Orleans, and it was like, oh, really? Okay.
because
You're damn right we
because
do.
because the Cameron Grimes accent gets on my nerves.
Because I'm Cameron Grimes.
Cameron Grimes.
Oh, man. He has 4 tires in his car.
Let me point
and
out.
I'm going to stick 4 needles and create 4 holes. And he going flat tires.
I just want to point out that the Cameron Grimes impersonation is probably by far the worst impersonation because we all grab our shirt, but he doesn't wear a shirt. So
No, but we imagine him going like that.
We're grabbing our vest, okay?
all right, so his email continues. He says, Marcus, my brother, has there ever been a time when somebody pissed you off so much that you wanted to chop someone in their throat and watch them gasp for air just a little bit?
At least 12 times a night.
Okay.
12 times a night.
Explain one of them.
No.
He can't. he has NDAs, but I would. He did bite a piece of meat out of my stomach once before.
That's a long story, and I'm not as vicious anymore. I go for the neck.
Eric, oh Eric, you want your own show apart from the Manny and Marcus bitch show. How about a cooking show? You have made claims of being a culinary whiz in the kitchen, so let's see.
Pause. Did we just get called bitches?
No, he said bits. Bits. B-I-T-S.
Oh, yeah, I was about to be like, what the fuck is this attack? This is outrageous.
Have any
No
of
one
you
attacks the Manny and Marcus show. Not while I'm alive.
have any of you ever been able to remember your dreams on a regular basis? I don't remember my dreams at all.
I only remember a periodic nightmare that happens, a recurring one that happens at least once every 3 months.
So the schedule.
Do you remember? I
Hold on,
think it was.
my therapy hat.
Do you remember in 1996 or 1998, the Godzilla movie around that time?
Yes.
Do you remember the bit where the cameraman is just standing and then the foot comes down
Oh,
like
no.
that, and he stood in between everything?
Yeah.
I have a recurring nightmare of that, but a giant pigeon foot. Like, talons scare me.
So what do you think the pigeon really represents, Manny?
My hatred to society.
So what you see is that you need to stay away from the Nazi party and only focus on a bird. Buy a pigeon, okay? And clap them off the roof.
You know pigeons are just
The
rats
police are
with
coming.
wings. Pigeons are the most disgusting bird ever.
Manny, you're only saying that because you want to be a pigeon secretly inside.
No.
Well, this hat does nothing. This hat does nothing.
I'm just gonna move on because I don't know what that was. I'm concerned.
It was the most patronizing therapist in the world.
Yeah.
So
he quit very easily too.
His emails, he continues, he said, which I did just today after y'all podcast. I crashed hard. Several hours later, I woke in complete laughter and just couldn't stop. Not a damn clue what was so funny. Naughty dog. Y'all some straight Bamas from what y'all did. If this pandemic ever ends, y'all should plan some kind of meet and greet, either in Cali or Maryland, since that's where the majority of the fan base seems to be. Come on over, Manny. We can show you a good time. If you buy the shirts that get released, a lot of shirts, maybe we can afford Manny to get a ticket to come over.
Well, you know, I could save and fly over.
Manny, you just ruined the perfect way to get more money for ads, man.
We're trying to get the money, okay? We're trying to get the money.
But the problem here is your president, as long as he's president, is not letting anyone from my country to come over to your country.
Don't you try to put that.
Your prime minister blocked us.
Yes, the European Union said that since we can't control our COVID-19, we cannot come to the European Union. So
because your bitch ass Floridans need to put on a mask instead of letting things breathe.
Not just the bitch ass Floridas. It's those dickhead Texans and those motherfucking Californians. Not the ones I know, but the ones that don't talk to me. It's all of them. And it's all of them. And God damn it, if we could just find one thing to agree on in America that isn't a Democrat or Republican thing, we can make America great again. Because
I actually did mean to say I did actually mean to say the president. I didn't actually want to say your president.
Unfortunately, I am American, so he is our president. But you know,
our president black. Barack never lost that election.
He didn't. Seriously, your lordship, you seem like a cool MF. I could see us getting into water balloon fights with the local vagrants there, stopping minor crimes, and solving unsolved mysteries in between hanging out at the arcades. What is Ryan?
Do you know what doesn't fit this description? First, he thought I was retired, and now he wants me to have. I would definitely get involved in a water balloon fight, but it doesn't fit the description of me being retired or a spy.
Where it came from? He's just like, I get to water balloon fights. I'm like, who says that?
What is Ryan doing during the show? Kind of shocked he hasn't bust into Marcus in streaming. How in the blue hell did any of you not make the Carrot Top reference with the props and assume I meant his looks? The hell is wrong with y'all? Why would I just outwardly insult Manny? I'm not Eric. Roommates, effing roommates. How you going to order pizza?
Chris, you also claimed I was drunk on one of the Marcus and Manny shows.
How are you going to order pizza then when it arrives not answer the door? I had to get my lazy ass up to answer the door knowing I didn't order any food and go to find you, and what do I hear? The shower running. You dumb son of a bitch. Why didn't you just wait until the food arrived? He's damn lucky I didn't leave the driver a huge tip because I almost felt obligated and entitled to do so. Don't let it happen again. Until the next time, I remain the number one Aaliyah mark. And of course, he did send another email, but I have a question for Chris that maybe he can answer on Tuesday. Did you eat the pizza that you paid for that you didn't order? I'm very curious about that.
Oh, well, no, was it his roommate's pizza or was it?
It was his roommate's pizza that his roommate decided to go take a shower when he had a pizza on the way to be delivered.
Now I can defend the. Yeah, I can defend the roommate on this one. I am one of those people. Okay, when I go to my Postmates, my DoorDash, my Uber Eats, I have an estimate time of how long this is going to take. And so my goal is that I'm going to take a shower just to kill time. Sometimes, I just need a shower, I kill time. And by the time that person gets here with my delivery, I'll be out. Your friend fell asleep in the shower or something. I don't know. But it does happen when you not realize how long you've been in the shower and you're contemplating life or whatever goes on in the shower when you waste all that time. That's what happened. And I can empathize with that guy. Has it ever happened to me? No. Not once.
All right. And his second email says, this one time at band camp. Thank you, Chris, for all of your witty, and a water balloon fight sounds like a swell time. Our last email comes from longtime listener and participant. And when his book comes out, we will probably have an interview on DSPN, maybe conducted by Lord Manny Hayes, because Lord Manny has that. Oh, Jonathan, what? Hey, Manny, 2020 is so crazy. Liverpool are champions. Yes, Manny. How do you feel about that? Liverpool are the champions.
It just makes more sense that the world has come into an end, to be honest. As a Manchester United fan, like, they're our biggest rival, and it makes me sick.
Wait. I'm not up on game on this footy game here. They crowned the championship, right? They just came back like a week ago.
No, because they won. They were so many points ahead that they, like, mathematically, if you're mathematically out of the title, they'll just award the title with matches to go. So, but then they're rioting in fucking Liverpool now, and it's just like, yeah, this is why you shouldn't have won the league.
I don't know where Liverpool is at, but I know when I was looking at Twitter, there was like people were calling them stupid twats and stuff, like, you guys win something, you want to tear shit up. I was like, wow. But with that being said,
you got to act like you've won it before.
My favorite thing about the Premiership is that who's getting relegated?
West Ham.
Oh, West Ham.
Oh no, West Ham. Aston Villa.
Aston Villa's definitely going down.
Damn it!
You don't even have a team, Marcus.
No, my team is Newcastle.
Why?
Huh? I drink Newcastle beer.
Oh, okay, I'll let you have that one.
Yes, how you like that, huh? How you like that?
And then Jonathan Washington says something in the chat. I can't say his name, so you might want to go look at that and you can answer that yourself.
The word's Mourinho, Eric.
There we go. I didn't know what it was. I just didn't want to.
Eric, when are you gonna learn how to read?
Never, I say, never.
I got this far in my life without reading, and if Floyd Mayweather and the President of the United States don't know how to read, by God damn it, I don't have to learn how to read either.
Since we've already sidetracked, and we're gonna get to this, man. Manny, are you excited with the announcement of FIFA 21?
It's just a game with a different skin, to be honest, when you play these sim games. And I always buy them, so...
You're a sucker.
But the one thing I'm probably not buying this year is Madden. I think I'm over it.
I haven't bought Madden in a long time because, A, I don't have anybody to play. And on top of that, it's always been the same thing. But if they announce college football, I'm back on the bandwagon. I don't even care.
That was a more fun game. NCAA 14 was a better game than Madden has ever been.
Man, do you know how much Marcus is going to count? Because I was in there recruiting. I had notes. I was like, if I get this 3-star, maybe I can get this 4-star. It was the greatest thing ever. But
he was a man in his own world. He was all of a sudden Kevin Costner in the movie Draft Day.
I was.
That's what he is in college sports. How are you training people in college sports?
I do love that movie, Draft Day. It's a really good film.
I enjoyed the movie Draft Day too, although it just felt like it was very inaccurate of Kevin Costner making all these last moves here and there. Manny, I also think I'm going to get the new Xbox. I saw a YouTube video, and if the revelation that the man said is true, I have a whole crate that tells me I need to get the Xbox. Apparently, it's supposed to be almost completely 100% backwards compatible with Xbox One games and also Xbox 360 games. And for me, that is a game changer.
Oh yeah, because you've got lots of games in plastic.
In plastic that are still 360s. I can finally play Fable 2. I can play Bully. I can finish.
I just want to point out that he said I could. Doesn't necessarily mean he will.
Yeah, like he can do that now. What is stopping him from playing Fable 2 right now? Who in the blue hell is stopping you from Fable 2?
Yeah.
I can't put the disc into my machine.
And PS5 for life.
And Wes,
I'm riding down with the PS5.
Are you gonna get the PS5, Marcus, if you would buy a system?
I would get the PS5. Long live Sony. Long live the PS5.
And Wes, I don't know what the 2K golf game on Switch is, but because I'm a Switch whore, I probably would buy it. Because I have actually, Manny, if you would like to know, I have 3 current Switch games still in plastic right now.
Worse than a collector, man. He's not even a collector.
He's a collector. Everything is mint on card.
It is. It is.
He still got games on UMD that he hasn't played yet.
I still have a LeBron James.
No, that's the PSP console.
I have a LeBron James Laker jersey that still has the tags on it that I've had for almost a year. So yeah, I collect things that don't make any sense.
You got a LeBron jersey?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were that type of person.
Well, I couldn't get an Anthony Davis jersey because I'm not going to walk around as a fat man with a number 3 on his belly. That don't look right.
Well, he's going to change his jersey number anyway, right?
Exactly. So I'm getting the last number 23, which means I probably buy a 6. Wes, I am waiting to get Burnout for my Switch. I bought myself a $50 Nintendo card. However, I'm waiting for Burnout to go on sale. Manny, we need to get some... People need to buy t-shirts so Manny can get a Switch so me and Manny can play games together.
So why can't I get a Switch?
Because Marcus, you ain't gonna play no games. You ain't.
You goddamn right. I don't play no games with nobody.
Marcus is like a broken Xbox. He don't play no games.
He's known as the red.
I'm like Eric after he buys a new game. I don't play no games.
He's the red ring of death. And let's get to the last email.
I tell you what I've still got in plastic?
What you got still in plastic, Manny? We getting sidetracked.
No holds barred.
Wow. The greatest Tiny Lester Jr. movie of all time.
Wow.
After Friday.
All right. It's the guy who likes to write in his spare time.
He takes a different outlook now that Hogan's a racist.
Yep.
The guy who likes to make his intros rhyme. The guy who puts the Wu in the Wu-Tang Clan. It's the greatest of the greats, the Diz Man. What's really good, Sharpies? What's really good? To get things started this week, I wanted to ask a question related to the story versus action discussion. My question is, the title implications a good enough story? I remember back in the day when people with no storyline reason would face each other and Gorilla Monsoon would say, this match has title implications. To me, that meant they weren't ranked high enough, but this match could help them move up. What do you guys think? I mean, why else would rugged Ronnie Garvin be facing off against Akeem at Madison Square Garden? Do you guys miss title implications?
I love the line. I always enjoyed that because I always knew this match is just something to fill time. And neither one of them are really getting this title shot. Hakeem, the Supreme Dancing Machine, is not going to end up fighting Hulk Hogan. I'm just saying his time has passed. This title implications is bullshit, but I do like whenever they say that. And I like when they say both competitors are in great shape because, it's just funny.
I like when they have fat competitors that are not in great shape, but they still say that they're in great shape. Manny, do you miss title implications?
I miss anything Gorilla Monsoon did on commentary. It was always golden when he was with Bobby Heenan as well. when he went, "Oh, you stop it!"
Oh, you stop! Oh, you stop! Would you
please?
Moving on, there are some things about the WWE that have been bothering me, and I wanted to get your thoughts on them. One of those things is, why is it that you constantly hear some people are just content with sitting in the back and collecting the paycheck? Why is no one reaching for that brass ring? Why is almost every feud about you getting an opportunity and me getting overlooked? Realistically, where are they finding these people that don't want to do anything and don't even want to try to do anything and are so easily overlooked? I think that's just society as a whole. I think people are a lot more comfortable with being complacent, like just staying. I admit myself, I'm complacent. I have no aspirations to move up into management or anything of that nature, so I'm okay with where I'm at. Manny, do you have any aspirations?
I did once upon a time, but now I'm kind of happy. I know where my ceiling is now. Like my ceiling's different. Like I don't like having stress and anxiety from moving up anymore. Like I enjoyed the comfortable ceiling I'm at. That's my answer to it, but like I can't answer for people in the back. I think it's a culture change where do you remember the phrase, Steve Austin, if you're not going for the belt, why the hell are you in the business?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then like the culture change now is that everyone's happy to be there, everyone's friends, But I feel like it needs to come back because that's the way that kind of pushes you to be better. No, like you could all go, oh, we're all friends and we push each other to be better and stuff, but that only goes so far.
I mean, I look at it this way. I don't want to be barely able to walk like the Undertaker is, just to say that I stayed in the locker room and didn't try to do anything. Like, what mark are these individuals trying to make in the industry? Marcus, what about you? Do you have aspirations still, or are you just the grand finale?
Well, yeah, I'm just pretty much the grand finale. The aspirations are out the window years ago. Life just does that to you. You get to a point where you go like, this isn't going to happen. Fuck you guys. I'm going to live a comfortable and healthy life. But I feel like they do need these people in the back to want to be wrestlers. But I can understand both sides. Yeah, I want to be a wrestler. I'm doing what I love. I'm getting a nice, healthy paycheck. I'm probably trending on Twitter for some reason every now and then. Life is good right now. Instead of, I got to be the number one guy and all that. There's only a few people that can be that number one guy. And you learn this throughout history. Not everybody's going to be The Rock. Not everybody's going to be Stone Cold. Not everybody's going to be Ric Flair. But those mid-card guys, as we talk about the mid-card Hall of Fame,
we do need to do
something
that
to say about that. Yeah.
One day we will. One day we will. Not today is not the day. Not today though.
Well, I'm saying that it's just life in which you get a job and everybody starts off with those aspirations of, I'm going to be the top guy, and then somehow in your life experiences, it's not the number one priority. Whether you get a family or you have new interests or whatever the case may be, everybody develops and grows and evolves into who they truly wants to be. That's all I'm going to leave you guys. Have a good night.
The Disman keeps hitting with a lot of questions. He says, here's another question. And it's a two-parter, and it may tie into what I just asked. Before FTR left the WWE, they were given a gimmick where they dressed up, for lack of a better word, as goofballs. They said the story was for them to change their style because they felt like the only way to get respect was to look like fools. Now, it could have worked or it could have not worked. I don't know, but this is another trope that WWE does. The first part of my question is, why do you suppose Vince is so comfortable going to this well? And with so many of these top tropes being used over and over again, do you suppose that this is the type of stuff that has turned a lot of fans off? Oh, I guess it's a three-part question. How do you guys feel when you see it? Or is it something you've never noticed? So I'll go to Manny first. How do you feel about that?
I remember seeing the pictures of those of the gimmick they wanted to do, but I heard that it was just management trying to see if they would actually do it because they knew they were on the way out. And when they said that they would, then they pulled the idea because they said they'd do it. Because I think the answer was they would. I think the answer they were expecting was pushback to say no. Why the hell would we do that? And I think they agreed to do it. And then what was the second question?
Let me go back. Marcus, you tie in while I go get the second question.
Unbelievable. You're so unprepared. This would never happen on Seacrest's show. I think the reason why Vince goes to this area of like, I don't know what to do with real wrestling fans or real wrestlers and people who want to take this serious is because the wrestlers that take wrestling serious or the diehard wrestling fan, there's no money there. It's just the same people. They're going to be there no matter what. I'm trying to get the casual guy. I'm trying to get your mother, your sister, that one guy who actually flipped to wrestling and was like, what is this? Vince's approach is, I need normal people. Not to say wrestling fans aren't normal, but I need the casual guys because the casual people are the people who bring in the most money. If I can get somebody to talk about this and it trends, it brings more viewers and more money. The thing with AEW right now is that they are for the wrestling fan. They haven't drew any new fans out of it. Like you never go, man. You walk that street, that AEW show, man, that was something else. What? No. You'll get some random WWE wrestlers who like, yeah, I heard of that. That's what I got.
To jump on what Marcus just said, it's the case of the hardcore wrestling fan will buy one shirt, whereas like the casual fan who's probably gone there with his kids will buy the shirt for the dad, the mum, and then however many kids they got. And Vince is looking at her like that. That's exactly how he's looking at it. It's like, oh, there's more money over here than to just book for just this guy.
Yeah. You may hate Charlotte Flair, but this little girl right here, man, loves some Charlotte Flair. And she's going to grow up. Oh, we got other wrestlers and comedy gimmicks. You want to go for the variety. You want to try to get all the money.
Now, let me speak on this real quick, because I feel like that, Manny and Marcus, you guys really represent like that hardcore wrestling fan. I feel like I'm more of a representative for the casual fan out there. Although
you son of a bitch.
Although I am a hardcore fan per se, but I appreciate the casual aspects. Like, for whatever reason, I enjoyed Tozawa and the Ninjas. I know people hate that, but that stuff is funny to me with the R-Truth and things. And as a kid, if I look at that, I'm gonna laugh. But when it came to FTR, quite frankly, they were boring. There was nothing about them that was spectacular. And I believe that the only reason why people started paying attention to FTR was the fact that Edge said, man, these are the greatest tag team that WWE has right now. People should pay attention. And that just got the whole hardcore wrestling family behind them, like here and there. I'll let you know right now, FTR ain't gonna make nobody who casually watch wrestling turn on AEW like, oh, those are the guys right there. They are not buff, they are not rough, and they are not the stuff. I'm just saying.
Why?
Because I had nothing else, and you know how you're just like going down a rat hole, and you realize I made my point, but Marcus and Manny has talked for so long, and I feel like I should say something longer. That's when I went with that comment. And then he says, do you even notice when, people try and the gimmicks doesn't work? You try and you see what happens. That's all you got to do.
I think it's a lot harder. I think it's a lot harder to tell now where you haven't got really a live audience to see if a new gimmick's going to work or not, which I think is what Vince actually wants. Now he can direct how he wants to book it and then basically fuck your feelings.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Here's something else I wonder. He has something else that he's wondered about. Why is it that we wrestling fans worry more about the perception of the story than the actual story? I mean, let's say the Forgotten Sons cut a promo on the New Day and said something like, people like you don't matter. We wouldn't get mad at the Forgotten Sons and want to see the New Day get them back. We'll be worried about whether or not the Forgotten Sons and the WWE would get canceled. Or say a person loses on their debut, we say things like, well, they started them off wrong. But in competitive sports, people lose their debuts all the time, i.e. Brock Lesnar in the UFC. And I say us because I'm just as guilty as anyone. I think it's the fact, and I've said this every time, the internet has ruined professional wrestling. For the simple reason that the make-believe world that we watched growing up as a kid has become the real world, and more wrestling fans are obsessed with what's taking place backstage instead of what's taking place in the ring. Like, no one cares that Dolph Ziggler is challenging Drew McIntyre for the title. They're more concerned with why is Dolph Ziggler getting this push? Who is WWE screwing over to push Dolph Ziggler in this position to challenge Drew McIntyre? And we know he's not going to win. It's like everyone wants to be behind baseball instead of just sitting down and watching and waiting to see what happens. Marcus, as you cough, do you agree with that or do you have your own opinion?
I agree with that. Like, it seems like most wrestling fans think that they can do a better job than the people who actually run the show. Like, AEW, say what you want. I can say what I want about them. I have no aspirations of running a wrestling show. But I hear nitpick and I say they can do this better, they can do that better, or I can go to WWE, they can do this and do that better. And that's what most wrestling fans do. Oh, like, for me, I can care less about they canceled somebody's push or this person has heat on them in the back. I honestly don't give a shit. If the show entertains me, it entertains me. I'm not going to go up and down a thing and be like, oh, man, they should have gave Ziggler this title shot. And I don't know why I'm using Ziggler as a reference, maybe because it's weak. They should have gave Ziggler a shot 10 years ago. But now they want to just force it down. I don't care. if it entertains me, if what they put out next week entertains me, I'll be on board with it. Or I could be like, nah, it still doesn't click with me. I just don't care. If Nia Jax is out there killing people, I honestly don't care. To me, it sucks for the wrestler. It sucks for the wrestlers I like that she's injuring people. But I'm not going to go onto a show and judge an entire show because of what Nia Jax did. It's not what I do. I don't care.
Manny, do you have anything to add to what Marcus said or something that you want to say that he didn't?
No, I want to build on where the internet seem to know that they can book shows better, but they may be on paper. It may be true, but you're forgetting a few things that go alongside with that, which make their job a lot more difficult than people like to think. One, egos.
Yep, right off the bat.
Egos. Two, they're not gonna. How can you honestly go that's gonna work all down the line? Like they're thinking of in the now. They're not thinking not like 2 weeks, let alone 6 months ahead, which is probably what they do in WWE. Even though Vince does like to flip the script every Monday on Raw. Yeah, every 5 minutes with Vince. But a lot of people forget that it's not an easy job. Like, on paper or on WWE 2K, you could be the best booker for in your life. But when it comes to dealing with people, and if you've ever been a manager, you would know. People are not easy to manage.
And I think we can say it ourselves. Like, doing this show is probably not the easiest thing. And all we do really is talk about what has happened. But trying to come up with your own unique perspective and try not to rehash what other people have said, it becomes difficult. So imagine trying to create stuff week in and week out. That's why I advocated off season. Now, the next part.
When Triple H says it's a marathon, not a sprint in this AEW thing. Oh God! I can't stop coughing.
Eric, I believe your watch just told you to breathe in and breathe out.
Yeah, it did. I don't even understand.
Keep rolling.
I don't even understand why my watch is. Fuck y'all. My hat is not backwards. I'm not Fred Durst anymore. Damn it.
No, you're always Fred Durst. Even Fred Durst says that sometimes when he looks in the mirror and realizes they woke up. Damn it, I'm Fred Durst. Yeah.
I just want to point out, this is why Dizman is a brother to me on this show. He says finally, and this last portion falls into the ABW category. As another callback to last week's show, I just want to say that I prefer my porn to be storyline driven too. I too grew up in the Skinamax or the Cinemax After Dark era, and personally and professionally, there has to be some build up to the climax. Pun definitely intended. I remember how my life changed the first time I saw Emmanuel, Erotic Confessions, and The Best Sex Ever, just to name a few. Oh yes, I was a nasty little Diz man, or Diz boy, if you will.
Oh, I gotta hear this. Why do I gotta hear this?
I mean, Diz man, you being
come back. Oh, this is a good story.
Diz man,
I always find out intriguing.
I mean, you being a father of a teenager, especially of a teenage son, what do you do when that moment walks in and you see that he's watching something with his sock? How do you handle that? I need to know. But you know which Skinamax...
I was like, how are you supposed to answer this?
In his next email. But you know which Skinamax movie really stands out? Haunted Desires. And the reason is because one of the scenes that me and my wife still laugh about. So in this scene, there was a guy and a girl getting it on in the back of a van. Just as things were getting hot and spicy, the girl bites him. He throws her off of him and proceeds to exclaim, "What are you doing?" Turns out the girl was a vampire. And when the dude realized it, he threw her off of him, ran to the front of the van, and starts it and tries to get away. Here's the funny part. The vampire chick was still in the back of the van. It gets worse. He had the nerve to look back, and she and she was the funniest look of fear I've ever seen. Needless to say, it did not end well for the dude. The police found him naked in the woods with 2 bite marks on his neck, shaking my head. Anyway, Sharpies, I'm gonna go, but you guys take care. Remember, there has to be some build up to the climax. Later, guys.
I just enjoy the point references. When do you go, ooh, this might be a good one? Like,
I just want to point out.
You never go, oh no, this is ruined. You took me out of it. No, I don't. That dialogue. They would never say that. No one has ever said anything like that.
This is a point where you need this man on the show.
Yeah, well, this is where
we needed to call him and just like have him read this part out and explain.
I just think you guys don't understand the true passion of good storyline telling, man. That's just what it is.
It needs to stay in wrestling and soap operas. That's where it needs to stay.
But what's your ideal storyline? Like, what's the storyline? Is it like everyday business happening, or do you need
everyday business?
Well, you know,
or do you need like some Nolan shit? And it's so complex, and people going like, "What the fuck?"
So growing up,
it felt good. In the end.
So growing up, you know, as a child when I was watching it, always the teacher-student storylines was pretty well. You know, you got the after-school detention that always worked out pretty well because you know if you ever had a hot teacher,
it's bad practice.
Huh?
It's really bad practice.
Oh, it is.
The teachers are always the students are always in their 40s. How does that not take you out of it?
Well, because Marcus, you never know. Somebody
Who gets detention at 40 years old?
Marcus, somebody might need be like the mills, Marcus. Like one thing about that industry, there's something for everybody. Whatever gets you off, there's there. Like there's wrestling porn, which is ridiculous, but I've never searched for it, but I know it exists.
Yeah, I'm sure.
With that being said, Wes says this man was the jizz man, and you know that's the best way to end the show. On that,
wasn't there another Chris email?
No, his second email was my one time at band camp. That was his second email. That's what he hyped up. Yes,
that was his hot dog flavored water of emails.
Wow, Mark, you still going with this, aren't you?
Yes, I'm out. That was it. That's it. Shout out to Wes, the drummer of Limp Bizkit. Now I'm out. I got that left.
Okay. With that being said, I just want to thank everybody who joined us in chat. We had a great time. My 2-hour quest still continues. One day we will have a 2-hour show, but I think we had a very good show. I look forward to next week finding out who will be in the lead to become the new Sharpshooter Pick'em champion. Like I said, picking Jurassic Express might have been a mistake on my part, but true.
You know, if Jurassic Express don't win, that means you're out completely.
Not necessarily, because if
we got week 2,
we have week 2, and then if Candice LeRae wins and you guys lose, that will cancel each other out.
No, because I feel like we announce a winner week 1.
No, we can't. We'll announce the leader because there's
week 2,
and then the second week the person's defending.
Don't cheapen the title, Manny. You gotta keep people in suspense, all right?
You gotta defend it every week, like Cody.
Cody didn't defend it this week though. He didn't. I'm hollering. I'm still upset by that. He didn't fight nobody.
Liar, Cody.
He didn't fight nobody.
Cody, you liar.
Anyway,
he got water thrown in his face. That's just as much competition as he had these 2 weeks.
Anyway. I'm Eric.
I'm Lord Manny. Hey, Hayes.
Hey, ho. And I'm Marcus the Grand Finale, who is doing it for the nookie.
Please like, subscribe, and tell a friend. Leave a comment of what we can change, what we can improve on, what you don't like, what you love. Also, if you have any suggestions or you want your email to be read on the show, you can email us at thesharpshooters, dasharpshooters@gmail.com. Also, check out the Untitled Manny and Marcus show that takes place on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where they give you that instant feedback of what happened on Monday Night Raw and that instant feedback of what took place on Wednesday with Dynamite and NXT. If you want to find out how they felt about Fyter Fest or the Great American Bash, Tuesday, when Marcus is half dead on Thursdays, will be the time for you to tune in. Right then and there, Marcus will talk about how tired he is, and that is half the enjoyment. And if I'm not working, who knows? If Marcus learns how to merge us all together, I might show up on the show. I doubt that.
What I didn't allude to on Thursday was I was very busy at work for a change on a Thursday. And so I was tired when it came to the show as well. But we did it for you. So like, subscribe, and tell your friends.
Yes.
And buy a t-shirt.
And
buy it all.
And guess what? Money. And to end it out, Marcus the Manny One guy in the chat who always talks about the ratings. NXT 1 because it's just better. Deal with it. Until next week, stay sharp. We're out. We hope you guys enjoyed.